What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I am a gracious host, A6, and I am a little late, as you see. I'm about an hour and, geez, man, I'm about an hour and 15 minutes behind. But those of you who saw the sub live stream I did earlier, which is only a few minutes long, let you know why. You know that basically broke down, had some issues I had to take care of. So, I'm here now, just walked in the door. So that's what it is, man. Temperature took a nosedive out here. I don't know where you guys are at, but out here in Baltimore, man, it is the temperature then dropped. Had to put the heat on in the car. But that's to be expected around this time of the year, right around Thanksgiving. The temperature starts to nosedive. So got a few heads in here. What's up, Lamont? What's going on, man? I got your emails, man. Thank you for those emails. I couldn't finish everything you sent, but I got through some of it. Good information as usual. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yeah, man, this weekend's been pretty. Got a chance to do a lot of running around, get errands taken care of. That's always a plus. Dude, I had to run through the stretch this week, but getting stuff done, I had to basically every day I was doing something. So it's all good, man. And more things need to get done because, as you know, again, the car broke down, so I got to fix that. I guess the AC compressor went up, but gotta fix the daily. What's up, Mr. Von Doom? Yeah, yeah, I'm very safe, man. I make sure I take care at all times. You know what I mean? But I was good. Minor setback. Minor setback. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. We already late. We might as well dive in head first. Let's talk about those headlights, those street lights that are popping up everywhere. Now, a lot of you probably have noticed by now. They started putting these things up in 2020, and a lot of people thought they were cool and stuff like that. But I want you guys' opinion on this because this is something I had knew about, but wasn't exactly sure what it was. I knew it had something to do with the 5G. I thought it was like 5G technology or some sort. But let me know what you guys think about these street lights. Now take a look. All right, so as you can see, those street lights appear to be black lights. Those don't look like regular street lights. And they tried to use this excuse that didn't make no sense. They said there was a problem with the lights. And I've heard multiple people say this. I've read all the comments. I've looked at like about 6 or 7 different videos, and I hear the same 3 reasons. One of the reasons people say is um the technology somehow ended up shorting out and something about the ball burnt or something like that, and it ended up turning blue. It was a common malfunction, and now the lights are blue. They used to be white because I remember when they first put them up, the motherfuckers were white. They were not blue. Then somebody else has said it's a situation where the actual bulbs themselves are uh are supposed to be to detect if you took the jab. And that was interesting because I was like, what? They said if you're supposed to have a certain tint underneath that light if you actually took the jab versus if you didn't. Um, Only thing I can think of is, man, remember when if you ever took your child or your nephew or something to Chuck E. Cheese and you got that stamp on your hand, and back in the day they would use the black light to see what the stamp looked like. Yeah, and that's kind of like somebody else was like, yeah, if you took the Pope, you can look at your arm and tell. You know what I mean? I was like, that's weird. And then somebody else said that it was they said it was some kind of 5G technology, which I already knew the lights themselves when they were replaced, they already had 5G tech on them. They were basically like emitters of such or conductors. You know what I mean? Somebody brought up another point. It was like, yo, somebody said Project Bluebeam. I was like, that is interesting. Now, interesting thing about the lights around here, I remember when they first put them in, they were like a LED white. They were really bright. Then they turned purple, but I never thought nothing about the purple because Ravens, Baltimore. I thought it was like a team thing. So I'm like, okay, maybe they made them purple because of the Ravens. And then when they continuously when they kept being used, they turned blue. I'm like, hold on, what the fuck is really going on with these lights? I want to get you guys' opinion on that. What up, James? What's good? What's good, Bad Wolf? Car broke down. They clones probably 6 a.m. grind. What's up, champ? Good to see you here, man. Yeah. I had a little minor setback, but nah, I'm authentic. Biological, environmental, and mental modification. That is an interesting outtake on that modification. So you think it's done from the light? Like you think it emits a certain frequency or radiation or something that does a biological change? That's interesting. That's very interesting. I was like, yo, what if this was just a situation where it's in commercial districts and they're actually checking people to see, you know what I mean, who can come in the store if you didn't take that certain medical procedure. You know what I mean? I consider that even. But yeah, that was something I thought about. But man, I just want some answers, you know. And they started putting these things up around 2020 during the lockdown because that's when they came. That strip not too far from here is it used to be solid regular street lights, just halogen bulbs. And if you know anything about cars, you know the cars back in the early 2000s, even the cheaper version, if you get a cheaper version of a car, they'll come with halogen bulbs. But all cars on the road back in the day were halogen. Then you had the projector headlamp technology, and then you had they would use like the smaller bulbs that were supposed to be more powerful. You had that, and then there was a situation where they came out with xenon bulbs. And the xenon bulbs were real popular at one point. You know, the import tuner guys were putting them on their cars, and they were very bright. And then it eventually evolved to the LEDs, and the LEDs are supposed to be the brightest technology. Now that's what they use, LEDs, and it's supposed to be a lot more simplified than the xenon kits were too. Xenon kits usually come with like ballasts, which are conducers, I think, or transmitters or something like that. But they take the voltage and they amplify it and put it out like 10 times what it would regularly be, and it makes the bulbs that much brighter. So with the LEDs, they don't need the amplifiers anymore, which is just crazy because it's like, yo, you literally had a module that came with the Xenon kit in order to install, but now these LED bulbs have a small module built in them, so they're tiny. The technology is tiny now, so it's not like for something the size of a headlamp, the technology would need to be huge. It could be something as small as a bulb. But that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And nobody else paid attention to this. No, I was asking people that, yo, you know about the lamps? No, I never really paid attention to them. Like, so you never noticed the fact that you were riding down the road and the lights were blue. You never noticed that. Okay, tells me everything I need to know about who I'm talking to. Yes, indeed, I noticed that as well as I was. Yep, yes, as well as the local atmosphere. But I don't know if the luciferides from the jab would show on the skin's surface. Some guy put a video up. I think it was he was trolling though, but he had a video put up where the his arm was like a circle fluorescent mark, but I think he was just trolling because he took a black light and put it on his arm. Like, yo, they didn't tell us this when I took the shot. I'm like, yeah, that this looks fake. What's up, Thirst for Truth? What's going on, man? Speaking of projects like Bluebeam, did you hear about WikiLeaks releasing all of their files? No, I didn't, but I would love to read about any Project Bluebeam stuff y'all have. Please forward that to my email, which is in the bio. And if you don't know, there it is right there. Should have been there already, but we're not going to talk about that. Told you I was running late, god damn it. But yeah, man. So and these 5G conductors, man, they put these things up in 2020 and they're everywhere, dude. They're outside of schools, they're all up and down roads, you know what I mean? This technology is all over the place. So it's just like, yo, what is the extent of these things that they've installed? But like that's why I tell people like, yo, 2020 was not it wasn't a situation where 2020 was something that just happened. Like that shit was planned. They had all of this stuff ready to go. As soon the week everything shut down, you literally had construction trucks outside. You can look at it's still on YouTube. You can look right on YouTube and you can see the Patriots asking some of these stupid bots that walk around and just do shit for money and don't have no idea of what they're doing or why they're doing it asking these dudes, what are these? What are you doing? Some guys wouldn't answer. Some guys say, yeah, we're installing 5G. And it was like, "Are you aware?" And they just started, reading up all the symptoms and stuff like that. Like, do your kids go to this school? And they, you know, yeah, how people get when they dead wrong and they get caught. They try to keep doing what they're doing and ignore you. That's basically how that went. And the videos are still online of them doing that shit. You know, people just being bots or NPCs and just installing these damn things and not even having no type of what is the word I'm searching for? No type of conscience, if that makes any sense. Just doing shit without any type of resolve or like, yo, what am I actually doing here? You know what I mean? But it takes a special kind of dumbass to do something like that. Throw a bunch of money at them and you don't even know why they're telling you to do this. You're just doing it. You don't think it's bizarre that there's supposed to be a life-ending pandemic that's happening. The news is telling people to stay in a house, and you got a group of 20 men, and you guys come out and install these light posts and all this shit all over the place when everybody's supposed to be in a house because it's a deadly airborne death imaginary death air that's killing people. You know what I mean? But they got y'all outside installing these. All right. Yeah, like the logic is baffling, bro. The logic is baffling. So yeah, there's that. What up, Isaiah? Was good, was good. I saw you on there earlier. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that is something I would love to know, get to the bottom of why that is, because there's nothing done by coincidence. All of this stuff was planned well in advance. They had all of this stuff ready to rock as soon as the shutdowns happened. That same week, these light posts were being put up. This is some shit that they've had in the works for a long ass time. You know, somebody was saying like, "Yo, in Africa, all the all the light posts actually were the conductors or something like that, and they actually ran off of electricity, and they had the power, the what is it, the ability to charge the city or something like that, and they tried to use that debate or that argument for the lamps. I'm like, yo, so you really sitting here telling me right now you think these lamps are being put in place for your benefit? Okay, hey, here's what it is. All right, let's move on, shall we? Oops. All right, let's talk about this right here. This blew me away. There's actually a gentleman. I'm not sure what his name is actually. You can read about it though. So the gentleman who created this Oculus game, he has a game where it actually can kill you. It's a video game that actually kills you if you die in the game. If I can get past this, there we go. All right, so this is on the Oculus. Now they don't say what kind of game it is. All right. So it says Palmer Lucky, that's his name. Palmer Lucky is the creator of Oculus, a virtual reality headset that allows gamers to immerse themselves in their video games. However, the tech head has now gone a step further in trying to build a VR device that can kill the user. Yo, what in the Black Mirror am I reading right now? The idea behind Nerve Gear, as it's been named, is to link a player's virtual experience to their real life, meaning that if they die in the game they are playing, they die in the real world too. The device, which was inspired by the anime Sword Art Online, in which thousands of gamers get stuck in the VR world, works. Hold on, excuse me. Works by spotting when a player has died in the game, detecting a shade of the red, a shade of red that appears. Then, once game over screen appears, three modules explode, instantly destroying the brain of the user. Hey, yo, I'm telling y'all, man, I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Yo, after 2020, nothing has been right. Nothing's been right after 2020 happened, yo. Shit has been left and right fucked up. Like, what is this shit? Why? Why would you build this? But Lucky says the device is not near completion yet, and he will still need a few more years to get it absolutely right. With his goal to create a device that perfectly aligns a player's online experience with the real world. He writes in his blog, You want Nerve Gear, the incredible device that perfectly recreates reality using a direct neural interface that is also capable of killing the user. The idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated me. You instantly raise the stakes to the maximum level and force people to fundamentally rethink how they interact with the virtual world and the players inside it. That's very interesting. This is an area of video game mechanics that has never been explored, despite the long history of real world sports revolving around similar stakes. The good news is that we are halfway to making Nerve Gear. The bad news that is so far, I have only figured out the half that kills you. The perfect VR, what is it? The perfect VR half of the equation is still many years out. So yeah, it's going to be a while before we actually see something like this. But I will say that this is crazy. Obviously, Lackey has some concerns over the device, namely that it could be accidentally, excuse me, naming that it could accidentally kill the user at the wrong time, which would be less than ideal, and why it is currently just a piece of office art. He says, this isn't a perfect system, of course. Yeah, thank you. A perfect system. Yeah, why would you want a perfect system? All right. And something that can take your goddamn face off if it malfunctions. Like, what? This is insane. Oh man, you guys can finish reading the article if you like, but that's where things are right now. We're not going to see this device anytime soon. I'm pretty sure. But let's chop it up into possibilities, man. What are the possibilities of something like this? Now, I would go as far as to say, the metaverse, man. If you look at the Matrix, this is exactly what the Matrix was. The Matrix was the exact same thing. If you died in the Matrix, you were supposed to die in what's called real life outside of the Matrix. And the thing about it is, what is the likelihood something like this could be used and connected to something like the Matrix? You know what I mean? Like a computer you actually plug your brain into and effectively move in that direction. Transhumanism is something we got to talk about, man. Because if we want to start talking about transhumanism, we got to start talking about the jabs, people being turned into antennas, popping up on wireless options. We got to start talking about that. We have to talk about the metaverse also plays a factor. You take those three things and roll them together. You take this video game, you take the metaverse, and you take people implanting technology in their bodies. You put the three of them together, you literally have the Matrix. That's what you literally have. You have a world in which people have to act and comply with every world that is excuse me every rule that is inside that world. If not, they can face extermination. This is the exact same thing, and this is why I say it's called chaos magic, when they tell you they're going to do something before they actually do it. That's the only way it can work. They have to tell you what's going on. And people say, oh, it's just a movie, Oh, yes, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you guys see a movie and you base everything off of a movie. Or no, actually, reality is based off of movies. Because after they show you something, years later, whether it be 10, 20, 25, or 30 years later, you're in the damn movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people were talking about that movie. What was that? It was called Quarantine or something like that. Was supposed to be a virus or something. You know, thirst for truth. Maybe the Neanderthals weren't so dumb. They might have had a longer existence on Earth. Than we day beings. I'm gonna tell you who has the right idea. The dudes from North Sentinel Island. At this point, it's looking like they was right the whole entire time. Facts. The dudes from North Central Island, they had the right idea. Like, just go ahead and start flinging arrows at people if they come anywhere near you. Keep all that shit over there. Don't bring that shit over over here, man. Yeah, I'm not with that. Needless to say, I'm not with that at all. All right, let's move on, shall we? Can move that out of the way. We already talked about that last week. All right, let's get to the next video. Okay, so this video right here. Excuse me. Let's look at this one right here. All right. So look, this is why I tell people it's important to know your rights. Now take a look at this. All right. Here we go. All right. So this lady, listen to this whole entire transaction and what happens. This is very interesting.
You want to do this out here?
Are you recording? Both of these gentlemen. 4 times actually, right? I've already told you that you couldn't come in. Right?
If you want to do this out here, then that's fine.
That's fine too. I don't care. You're with the Secret Service, you said?
That is correct.
Okay. And you're SAPD, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I made comments online, so the Secret Service came to my door with an SAPD that works with them.
Make comments for what?
On Facebook.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Or Facebook?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Well, just let them. They have to do their job.
He's going to ask you some questions.
What's your date of birth?
None of your concern. If you
It's the same script. Yo, they're not asking. They're asking. They trying to connect her to the ends lead, just all capitals name basically. And listen to how she responds.
you're here at my door, you already know what it is.
What's your name?
It's Candace Castillo, the same name you asked for.
So see, she identified with the all caps. That's why they ask you that shit before they actually, move any further into it. They're literally identifying you with the straw man, all caps, ends legis.
Oh, and since you're SCPD, I would like you to inform me. Is this mandatory? Do I need to speak to you? Am I under arrest? Are you charging me with anything? Anything?
Not at this point, no.
And you see, he took a minute because he knew where that shit was headed. Like, she knows her damn rights.
So then what is your concern? Why are you here?
I'm here to ask you about the statements you made online.
So look, you got the damn, I guess it's the chief of police at the door. You got the Secret Service agent about some First Amendment protected activities that were made online.
Statement.
The specific statement.
What
you made?
statement?
Can someone shoot that fool between the eyes already and call it a day?
Oh, so
Now I'm not saying I'm not sure what the details are or who she said that to. I'm sorry. The way he read it was just the way he read it was just like, come on, man. Really? Yeah, I'm sorry, man. The way he read it was just like, yo, I really had to come out here to ask you about. He sounds like somebody told him to do that shit. He was like, but I was about to go to lunch. Like, I'm sorry, man.
what you're saying is I don't have a freedom of speech. I can't say what I want to.
Ma'am,
Is that the concern?
would you like to answer my questions or not? Are you going to sit here and create something?
What can you answer my question?
No, I'm here to ask you questions.
No, sir.
Yes.
It
ma'am.
goes both ways.
No.
So
it
if you
doesn't.
then goodbye. So unless you don't have me.
And that's the thing, like, yo, they so used to dealing with people that don't know their rights. She said, I'm gonna ask you some questions. He said, that's not the way it works. Well, it technically is, because technically, well, if you want to be really, really technical, she already identified to be in all caps. So I guess he would kind of be within the right to say that's not how it works. But on the same token, even the all caps has some rights. It might not have all the rights, but it has some. And she definitely has the rights to ask questions. The way a lot of people would move is they would not even answer the fucking door, or they would talk to him through a window. You know what I mean? Like I would not recommend opening your door to these mofos personally, but
Under arrest? If I didn't commit a crime, did I commit a crime by expressing what I said?
That's what I'm here to ascertain.
No. Did I commit a crime by expressing what I said?
No, you did not.
Okay, so am I under arrest?
No, you're not.
Is it mandatory that I need to speak to you? Is what I asked you.
I would like you to speak with me.
No, that's not what I asked you. Just answer the question. It goes easier. You know that.
You have the right to decline my interview if you wish.
Oh, I do.
Yes, you do.
Okay. You have a card? Maybe I could call your boss and then we could really sit down. After I
I'll give you one of my
get,
cards.
no, I didn't ask for yours.
Oh.
For yours. So I can get legal representation. And then you can ask all the questions you want in front of my attorney.
Okay, if you want legal representation, that's your right.
Okay, so just give me a card with your information and we can contact you.
Well, you can call my office. I'm not going to give you my card.
That's stupid.
Can you take down my number?
Sure. Take down his number, Macy.
I'm recording anyway, so you can just.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
210. Well, I don't really want my number on wherever you put this.
So you have a pen in your hand, write it down.
Do you have a piece of paper?
You have one right in front of you, sir. Don't be difficult. If you really want this answered, you really want it resolved, just write it down. It's that simple.
And if it's to an office, it's going to be there anyways. Anyone can
Correct.
get it.
Excuse me?
If it's to an office, anyone can get it anyways.
It's called online, which you just did. You searched my comment. And if you don't mind just writing your name and your badge, I'll contact your office. And once I have legal representation, then we can sit down and sort it out.
Off of a Facebook comment.
But it's all right. It's all right. Not everybody agrees with their commander in chief. Poor fucking them.
Have a good day.
All right. So she wasn't having it. She said, yo, nah, not today. And she just asserted her rights. And that was indeed the chief of police, and the Secret Service was at her door. She asserted her rights and she slammed the door in their face. You know? I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah. Great stuff. And then Victor Von Doom says, very doable tech, electrical induction will allow human nervous system to shut down via a signal. Yo, that's another thing too. Elon Musk is working on the Neuralink, right? So look, yeah, those are the 4 pieces you need. You need the transhumanism that people to actually be willing to put the shit in their body, which is where the jab comes in. You got Elon Musk's Neuralink, which will actually connect your brain to the actual program itself. Then you have you have that what is it? The game itself. You got that. Yeah, and then you got the other thing too. So those are the 4 things right there. So those are the things you actually really need to connect the transhumanism puzzle together. And then boom, Matrix. Literally. Alex Jones been talking about the metaverse transhumanism since 2014 that I know of. He probably was talking about it way before. Never really watched Alex Jones like that. A lot of stuff he says does seem legit, but I never really followed him that much. This is for the record. Damn. Yeah. We need to start using our tools on these folks like these farmers did back in the day when bankers rolled up on their property. I wish it was that simple, man, but I'm going to say this. The pen is way mightier than the sword, man. You know what I mean? As it stands right now, the pen is way mightier than the sword right now. You know, you got to know when to you got to know when to move and when not to, if that makes any sense. You know, you can't go moving at the wrong place. What up, Mike? What's good, man? What's good? Nice. That's how it's done. Yeah, I mean, I thought she did solid. You know, it's kind of like that movie Gamer with Gerard Butler from 300. Word. I'm not sure what that is. All right. Now, how many of you guys are familiar with Eddie Craig? How many of you guys familiar with Eddie Craig? I wanted to go over it. Wolf was supposed to show some of his video on his channel. He was gonna do like a watch party type thing. Not sure if he did the whole entire thing, but I'm gonna show a piece of it right here. So I'm gonna pick up. I'm only gonna show a few minutes though, because I want to show you a traffic stop after this. So to give you the gist of it, he's basically a ex. Was he a state trooper? I think he was a deputy sheriff, a sheriff deputy or something. He might have been a sheriff, but he used to be like a sheriff deputy. And what he basically does now, he tells you police's tricks and what they use in order to get jurisdiction. And a lot of the stuff he says is 100% solid, and it makes sense when you read the text. Let's go into it. Here we go.
38.22 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, when they must inform you of your Miranda rights before they proceed. Next. Okay. Now, everything you do is directed at protecting yourself. Everything. And you need to remember these two important factors about any traffic stop. The purpose and intent of every transportation stop is to escalate it to either a DUI or drug bust. Always. That is where the officer will attempt to escalate the stop to if given the opportunity. That's just another reason why you do not answer his questions. You do not get into chit chat or idle talk with the officer that will give him any reason to latch on to any statement that you make and allow him to escalate it to one of these two much higher and much more dangerous offenses. So do not do any of those things. This is what they're going to attempt to do. Be aware of it, expect it, prevent it. Do not attempt to educate the officer. Don't tell him what his job is. Don't tell him who you are. Don't tell him, this is what the law says you have to do. I know my rights and blah, blah, blah. You're attempting to educate an officer on the side of the road. Unfortunately, most of these guys, besides not caring, don't have the IQ for it. Now, that's not to say there's not good officers. There are. I fully agree that there are. But the good ones are too few and far between to stand up by themselves to resist the bad ones. They need our help. Once they see they're not outnumbered, maybe they'll get a voice. Maybe they'll get in a group and make a voice. I don't know. But the only way to do it is to know this for yourself at the moment, so let's get with it. Once you know the officer's name and his badge number, you're going to use that as often as possible while you're going down the things in this script. Why? Because you want that officer associated with every illegal activity you can get him into while he's got you. So you want to directly relate him and what he's doing to some violation of your rights at every single opportunity. That also makes any video record self-authenticating. When everyone that's in the recording is known, no one has to testify as to, well, this is that person, this is that person, this was made here, this was made there. It becomes self-documenting and self-authenticating when everybody's name is stated for the record, when everything in it is agreed that, yeah, that's what was said, that's who it was, and that's when it was done. By doing these things and getting his name and everything introduced and making him answer you like he wants you to answer him, you make that recording self-authenticating.
All right, so one of the things he said that was very interesting to me, he was saying when you get pulled over, that is an arrest. That's a custodial arrest. And they're supposed to read you your rights. At any point where you can't go anywhere, that is literally an arrest. They don't officially call it an arrest. They call it a detainment. But he was saying that's technically a custodial arrest because you're not allowed to go where you want. You don't have free range of movement. And with that said, you're supposed to be read your rights at that point.
Including the one you're making, not just the one he's making. Remember, you don't leave home without a recording device. This includes in your car. I've got multiple ones in mind. Good luck on finding all of them to prevent me from having the record I need. Now, again, everything you say is directed at one of the three rules: invoke, demand, protect. Always. Next slide. Question 1. For the record, may I get your name and badge number, please? This is the first thing you ask when the officer approaches your car window. You want to know who it is you're dealing with and how to identify them. Make sure that your recording catches their name and badge number. That makes your recording self-authenticating. Immediately, let's just say, for instance, the officer said his name is Davis and his badge number is 123. Officer Davis, badge ID 123, is there recording being made of this encounter? Again, you want him to tell you whether or not he's making an official record of this. The things highlighted in yellow, while not required, will help you possibly down the line when you start asking the question about, when you ask for this information and they say, well, we didn't make a recording or the equipment was malfunctioning. These three things will help you prove that's a lie if you got an answer to them on your recording. So these are optional, but potentially helpful. Officer Davis, badge number 123, what is the emergency and how can I help you? Again, we're not going to assume we did anything wrong. We're not engaged in transportation. We're not commercial. Therefore, his authority to pull us over for some alleged offense under that code is non-existent. Therefore, we have to ask, why are you stopping me? Do you have a problem and do you need me to help you? Because in Texas and most other republics, they can ask for help from the people to subdue a criminal or things of that nature, and you're required to help if you can. So we're going to ask. Officer Davis, badge number 123, what facts or information are you alleging gave you probable cause to stop and accost me? Right there, we're asking the officer to validate his authority. What alleged facts are you relying on as your authority to do what you're doing to me right now? Now, of course, he's going to cite immediately something related to transportation. When we get to trial, that's going to become very important, not only in our defense, but also in our federal lawsuit when we sue everybody in the food chain after this case is over. Officer Davis, badge number 123, do you have a properly signed and issued warrant authorizing you to search me or my property? Again, documenting the right. Do you have a warrant? And this warrant specifically directed at searching, okay? Can you search me or my property? If he says yes, simply ask to see a copy of the warrant. Texas law is now written where the officer is not required to have the warrant in his possession. Used to, he had to have it with him. However, even though he doesn't have to have it in his possession, if you demand to see it, he must produce it as soon as is practicable. Once he gets you to jail, if the magistrate sends you to jail, once he brings you into the magistrate, which is where he is supposed to take you first and foremost, but never does.
Exactly. They're supposed to take you to see a magistrate first. They're not supposed to take you to process it and leave you sitting there for hours and fingerprint you and take mug shots and do all this other crap they do just to get paid. They're supposed to take you to see that magistrate first. Remember, it's innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. Supreme Court's already ruled on that too.
Again, if he takes you directly to jail, you've got a lawsuit for false imprisonment that you could go after him with. I recommend you do that. Officer Davis, badge number 123, do you have a properly signed and issued warrant of arrest that accurately describes or names me as the person to be arrested? Again, you're going to arrest me. Where's your warrant? Okay? Your warrant either has to state me by name or description as the person it applies to. Where is it? Again, if he has it, ask to see it. If he doesn't give it to you right then, he's required by law to still produce it as soon as practicable. For the record, I am not operating in a for-hire capacity by engaging in any form of transportation or other commercial use of the highways. Officer Davis, badge number 123, Please acknowledge that you have been so informed. Now, this officer is not going to know what you're talking about, and he's not going to care. He may refuse to answer and so on and so forth. However, you want an answer to every question you ask. When they don't answer, do what they do. Keep repeating the question till they respond. He may say, I don't care. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But you want an answer to this question before you allow him or yourself to move on. Very important that you get this, because once he admits that you told him you were not operating in transportation and he continues to do something to you using that as his authority, he has admitted his authority was gone and he held you anyway. That is going to be a very big problem for him in federal court. I had no authority to keep you there, but
I know people that says federal court, your local court will most likely find you guilty, as these private businesses masquerading as legitimate courts have a clear conflict of interest. 1000% correct.
I did it anyway. Well, we're going to prove to him why that's a very bad idea. Officer Davis, badge number 123, am I under custodial arrest? Again, this is where he's going to lie. If I am not under custodial arrest, am I free to go? And again, he's going to tell you no. You cannot get the same answer to these two questions. They're completely opposite to each other. Either you're in a custodial arrest and not free to go, or you're not in a custodial arrest and you are free to go. They can't be the same answer. Officer Davis, badge number 123, what is the articulable probable cause that leads you to believe that I have committed or am about to commit a crime that authorizes you to stop and detain or arrest me? Again, the officer is going to cite some alleged transportation offense as his initial probable cause. You want that in the record. He's already admitted up here that you told him you were not in transportation, and now right here he's saying, but that's still what I'm going to use as my authority to accost you or do anything else to you. For the record, Officer Davis, badge number 123, in order to protect my rights and not waive any by error or accident, I wish to clarify my legal understanding of the situation.
All right, so that's a chunk of what my man was basically teaching. Now let's get back to it, because I want to show you a gentleman who actually used this. So take a look. I'm going to show you the whole entire transaction from when he was pulled over to, what ensued afterwards.
Hello, how's it going, man?
So this is the guy, Eddie Craig's traffic script. That's what it's called. Eddie Craig's traffic script.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. The reason why I pulled you over, you didn't have your seatbelt on. Is this window rolled down?
You know, I'm just trying to get things taken care of.
Okay.
Just trying to get things.
It doesn't. This window doesn't roll down.
It rolls down not like that, sir.
You have your license, insurance on you, sir? I can look your insurance up if that's what you're trying to do.
Well, actually, for the record, sir, what's your name and badge number?
My name is Officer Fritz, badge number 7. Do you have your license, insurance on you? Sir, I need your license and insurance.
So what my man is doing right now, he doesn't have everything pretty much. He don't have a fundamental comprehension of everything that he's learned. So he has to refer to his phone to try to find things in the heat of the moment. And you already know how hard that is.
Okay, sir, is this encounter being recorded?
I need your license and insurance right now.
So if you didn't see it, the police officer tried to pull his door open. They do shit like that. He tried to pull his door open while he was on his phone and throw him off, but his shit was locked.
evidence or information gave you probable cause to pull me over.
You didn't have your seatbelt on. You didn't have your seatbelt on when I walked up in the vehicle either.
You know that I'm not engaged in transportation. I'm not.
7 talk. Well, you start me another unit my way. My 90's good. Sure, you give me your license or you go to jail for obstruction.
Oh, sir, I'm not obstructing justice, sir. I'm just.
Well, give me your license.
Trying to get some information, sir. Hang on just a second.
Just someone in Route 7.
2-8 South advised I'm in Route 2.
I'm going to ask you one more time, sir. Where's your license?
Just a second, sir. I'm trying to find some information.
Where's your license? Where's your license at?
Just a second, sir.
No, I don't. Listen. We don't have all the time in the world, okay? Give me your license. I'll write you your ticket and get you on your way, okay?
Sir, I just wish to inform you that I was not engaged in transportation. I'm not commercial use of the highway. Are you aware that I have informed you of that, sir?
You were traveling on the roadway without your seatbelt on. That is a traffic violation.
I was engaged in.
Actually, it's not a traffic violation to travel without a seatbelt on. That's not even in the transportation code. Promise you that. But driving without a seatbelt on, that's 1,000% in the transportation code, which is illegal.
In my free ride
What?
of travel, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, you were traveling on the road without your seatbelt. That is a traffic violation. Where's your driver's license?
See, he trying to scroll through the phone in the heat of the
Sir,
moment.
Where's your driver's license?
That ain't gonna work.
This is the lawful stop.
Okay, my next question, sir, is do you have a search warrant that has me listed properly signed and notarized for you to search my vehicle?
I don't need a search warrant to ask for your license. I need your driver's license.
You have an arrest warrant with
You're supposed to have your driver's license and insurance verification for your vehicle, okay?
Okay, so is this a custodial stop or is it an actual?
You're detained to investigate, okay? I'm here
So
because you didn't have your seatbelt on when you passed me.
So am I under arrest, sir?
No. You are being detained at the time.
Okay, am I free to go?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You are not free to go.
All right, sir, since I am. So this isn't a custodial.
This is a traffic stop, and you're being detained
So I'm being detained and I'm not.
because you did not have your seatbelt
Okay,
on.
sir. So therefore, I wish to invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not provide you with
But
any information.
you have to give me your license, or you can go to jail for
That's
obstruction.
not true, sir. Oklahoma is not a identified state.
He was actually right on that. All right. Some of these states that we live in are not stopping identified states. You just can't stop somebody and say, give me your license. Like, what if a motherfucker might not even have a license on them? You know what I mean? You can't just walk up to people and say, give me your license. You know, it doesn't work like that. So the question is, why the hell are they even pulling people over in the first place? You know what I mean? If they don't have the ability to stop an ID. And my answer to that question would be, I bet you $50 this dude has a plate on the back by that state or another state.
You are if there's a
arrest
traffic
me-
stop.
If you arrest me,
There is
sir,
a traffic stop.
If you arrest me, sir, then I am required to give you information.
This is a traffic stop,
For a traffic
and you
stop,
are required to give me your driver's license. It is Oklahoma state law for you to surrender your driver's license
I have
and security verification. You're going to open this door, you're going to go to jail for obstruction. I've had enough. Open this door.
I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right remain
No, you're
silent,
not. Open
and I
this
will-
door. You're going to go to jail for obstruction.
You may have the
right
question.
to remain silent, and I have a right to counsel. I'm not going to say anything else until the attorney is present. sir.
Open this door. You're obstructing. You're going to go to jail for obstruction. Open this door. Give me your license, and we'll get you on your way. You can, sir, you can make this easy.
You got 2 police officers on the side of the road trying to get a man's license for not wearing the seatbelt. There's literally people shooting each other right now that need to be stopped.
You gonna roll this window down and give me your license? I think I've been pretty fair so far. Sir, I'm giving you a lawful command to give me your driver's license and insurance verification. You don't do that, you're going to jail for obstructing an officer.
Sir, I've invoked my Fifth Amendment right. I'm not saying anything. I'm not getting out of this vehicle.
But by you doing that, you're obstructing
That's not-
my investigation. Sir, it'd be a lot easier if you rolled this window down, gave me your license insurance verification, then you can go on your way. Okay? But by you doing this, it's going to make things a lot more difficult for both you and I. Okay?
I've already informed you that I'm not engaged in transportation.
You're breaking the law by not surrendering your driver's license and insurance verification. This is the traffic stop because you did not have your seatbelt on. You watch me for a second. At all. Sir, like I just said, roll the window down, give us your license and insurance verification, okay?
There's 3 police they got on the side of the road.
I'll write you a citation. Everything checks out good. Get you on your way, okay? But by you not follow my directions, you're obstructing my investigation.
All right, let me speed it up a little bit.
Window down. Give me your license and insurance verification.
For the record, officer, badge number 7, no law is valid if it requires me in any way to waive any fundamentally protected rights in order to exercise any other right or alleged privilege. And no law can convert the free exercise of any right into a crime. I've repeatedly informed you that I choose not to waive any of my fundamentally protected rights. So I ask
He was right about that, though. He's right.
you again, officer, badge number 7. Do you intend to harm, injure, steal my property, or otherwise punish me for invoking my fundamentally protected rights?
Listen, sir, I pulled you over because you weren't wearing your seatbelt, okay? So I'm lawfully allowed to ask you for your license and insurance verification. Okay, and you were not cooperating right now. Therefore, we're going to have to forcefully enter your vehicle. He has a hammer.
I'm not much of
Be a little careful. What do you think's best?
Well, you want to go hands on. We'll get on. Real quick.
Yeah, we'll go
Make sure
hands-on.
he doesn't have a weapon somewhere.
Yeah.
That's been my biggest concern.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might have one tucked to where you can't see it.
So as far as you Bust the window out.
Yeah.
And then we'll take care from there, and you kind of just.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up. Hit it, clean it real quick. You guys go hands
Okay,
on.
then we'll go from there.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we're ready now.
So he covered that cam up. See that?
Okay, I'm not resisting. I just want you to know you guys are falsely imprisoning me.
Get out! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Stay down.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right, we're gonna roll you over on your back, okay? Scoot back. All right, stand up.
All right, hang on, I got back.
All right, put one knee up. 1, 2, 3. Up.
I got a back.
All right, let's go. Put him in my car.
I like to secure my property.
Taco, you sitting next one up, be black and colored.
All right, so they smashed that man's window and hauled him off, towed his whip. So, like I said, my man had public plates on this shit, and he was asserting his rights. Now it does, and which you know, if you read what the Constitution says, it says that no state shall make any law that abrogates the rights of contracts. You know, so you have the right to contract unlimited. So when you sign that driver's license, you give up certain rights. I mean, let's read what it says exactly, just to be 100% sure. So I tell y'all, download the Constitution on your cell phone. It's Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1. No state shall enter any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. So yes, they cannot create a law that impairs the obligation of contracts. So once you contract and you sign away certain rights, you don't, you know what I mean? You're going to have a hard time proving that in court. Now, you also have the Supreme Court case that says, you know what I'm saying? What is it? Marbury versus Madison, 1803. Any law that's repugnant to the Constitution of the United States of America is null and void, in so many words. So there runs a very small slither of gray area that you have to be able to operate in. You see what I'm saying? This is why the private plates, you know, not having that contract, you know what I mean, the driver's license is so effective. A man said, he said, hold on, I missed a lot of comments. He didn't get snatched out yet. Yeah, they took their time with him. I give him that. He tried to yank him out within the first 10 minutes though, because he pulled on that door handle, but that bitch was locked. When that shit was locked, he realized he was gonna have to go through the gambit. He was trying to take a shortcut, going hard for that contract. Yep. Turn the video up to 2 times speed. Yeah, it It was they dragged it out. You know what I mean? And for the assist, yep, they had 4 guys on them. Leave the man alone, officer, and go find a violent offender breaking the law instead of bothering this peaceful man for a code when he's not involved in traffic. That is kind of true. Damn, I missed it all for this one guy. Yep. Now the problem here is that if he has a driver's license and their plates, he has their property and can't refuse his master. That's what we talk about, Wolf. That's what we talk about, bruh. You can't do both, man. You want to exercise your right to travel, but you want to still have a driver's license. Like, unfortunately, the way these police officers are trained, bro, they're not really trained on the Constitution. You know, I've even heard stories about they're able to get around the Constitution, having to even read that bitch. I wonder how much he got paid. He probably got paid, yeah, because he stood on his rights and he stayed on his rights very heavily. So he probably got paid something, but the officer probably didn't get punished for it either. That Eddie Craig video definitely was on Alex Jones InfoWars A6. I remember that video. Damn, all for non-violent so-called crime. Red coat thugs. Now we suffer. Yeah, they serve Britain. We know that. 100% red coats. You know, none. They wouldn't have any. There would be no enforcement of statutes, codes, and regulations if they didn't have a military behind it. But you know, it's everything is, bro. Everything is contracts, energy. You know, stand in honor. A lot of that shit is, you know what I mean. It is very. I'm gonna tell you something. Doing things under duress is a very powerful statement of such facts. But I rode around and got pulled over, and they don't mess with me after I placed them. Yeah, yo, dude, I'm telling you, the notice, son. The notices are underrated. Yo, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how strong the notice is. Yo, putting these people on point, yo, you will have not to deal with nothing. I had this week. I had one regular police officer behind me, and I had a state trooper directly behind me. You know how you on the highway or something like that, and a police officer gets on the highway and everybody moves out of the way. I didn't move. I stayed right there. So the state trooper comes up, and I see him. You know, I don't. You know, I'm trying to go where I'm going, so I go past him. I go in front of the other guy. Other guy moves out of the way because nobody want to be in front of a police officer when their status ain't right. State trooper pulls up behind me, you know, just keep going. He goes around me, keeps going. Yo, I'm telling you, bro, like when you get pulled over that first time and you put them on notice, like, oh, leave me the fuck alone. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not no combatant, not belligerent, none of that. I'm just minding my business, exercising my rights, which I have the 100% capability of doing so. Self-governing like we're supposed to be. You know, when you're moving like that, you don't have to deal with a lot of nonsense. No registration, just my document. That's all you need. 100%. He did that to himself. Hey, listen, Mike. I agree, man. He was. I'm not saying he was wrong for standing on the Constitution, but yo, it's a lot deeper than that, yo. You know, contracts is that shit is important, man. You can't just overlook the fact that you signed a contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles. You know, you signed that mofo. The straw man can't sign anything because it don't have hands, arms, legs, or a head. You signed it in place of the straw man. And when you carry that driver's license on you, you're effectively carrying that contract. That's what you're carrying around. Even if you don't have it on you, yo, and you don't close it out, you still have it somewhere. That evidence of that contract is in their system, and they're going to enforce that contract that you signed. You have a duty to perform when you sign a contract. That's why, you know, there can be no law that does that abrogates the you know, interferes with the contract. That's key notice. Yep. Write script and info, but he's got the contracts in place. Surrender the license and end the contract. Yep. Then you in 1,000% right. Then you can smack the shit out of everybody involved. Because one, you don't have a contract. Two, you told him you was on what you was doing. You was traveling. So when you go to federal court, you can literally you can get busy. You can get paid. Mofos, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna go there, but yeah, you can get paid. We'll put it amongst other things if you go to federal court, you know. But for the most part, when you put the right people on notice, you ain't even got to go through that, man, because they know who you are. You know, they know who you are. They listen. They're the same way nationals talk about what's going on around their town. The same way nationals talk about who hasn't been obeying the Constitution. The same way auditors talk about what police officers are problems. The same way that shit happens, they got behind that blue wall. They know who's who. They know what area you in, what color your car is. You know, there's the word goes around. Some weird guy gave me a passport when I pulled him over the other day. I ran it and it said, "Do not detain." You don't fuck with him. Don't even fuck with him. They're like, yeah, oh my God, I saw him riding on the road the other day. Look, one of them SCs. You know what I mean? He had this weird plate. You know, I pulled him over. Yeah, I seen that dude the other day. I don't mess with him. He never really speeds or anything like that. He usually is pretty chill. But yeah, I saw him. I was off duty. Cause you be surprised how many police officers when you off that are off duty or with their families or something are behind you and you don't know they're a police officer. You'd be surprised. You know, not even in their cop cars, just in regular cars. They see you, and they talk. They're humans just like everybody. Well, a lot of them are just like everybody else. You know what I mean? But yeah, so the way you move is very important. Well, look, Mark Stevens versus State of New Jersey. Not right now, Thirst. We got a lot of stuff to get through. Never hand them the license. You know, some people get. I've seen people get bullied into handing them the license. Like people be like, "Yo, I had the passport. I gave him that. He wouldn't accept the passport, so I gave him the license." Like, okay, so if you literally gonna give him a contract, just go ahead and turn your passport back in with the Department of State and be a U.S. citizen. I mean, just go ahead and rock out. Don't even. I've seen it. You gotta stand on that shit, man. You want to give them the passport and hand them a license because they don't like the passport. What did you think he was going to say? You know what I mean? No, that's not how that works. Can anybody say status and fee schedule? That man was not ready. He didn't even have his shit memorized though. Even if you don't have it memorized, you got to have the core fundamentals down. You know what I mean? Guys like him, they need to have that notice pre-printed before they even get pulled over. Everything on it. When he asks you for some license registration, pass that shit to the officer. You know, and then while you're doing that, you need to have all your shit, all your documents in place in your car. You're out there traveling, you need to have the foreign national police policy. I've been saying this for 2 years to you guys now, and I'm gonna keep saying it till y'all get it. You know, the foreign national police policy is very powerful. You should keep that on you. You should keep the definition of driver. You should keep Supreme Court case laws on you. All of this stuff should be in your whip. And you should be able to get to any of it at a moment's notice. Because when you're under pressure, it's gonna be hard to find certain stuff. So you need to make it so that it's easy to access. You know, but yeah, you out there just minding your business. You're not bothering nobody, you're not flying up the road, you're not drifting around corners and shit like that. You know, no harm, no foul, like I say. These dudes remind me of the dragoon cats in that movie, The Patriot. I didn't see that movie. What up, Civic Maker? Do that and keep the return receipt. Always keep your return receipts. Very important. And make a copy and place it into my travel book. Yes, sir. My man, he already know you got to keep a little small, not even necessarily a filing cabinet, just a little small binder. You can even keep a folder. I got a folder, you know what I mean? One of my automobiles. I just keep a folder in it. SF95 form. be hitting when they don't do their job. Yeah. You know? Yep. Got to put the correct autograph if you had these contracts. Yes, that is facts. If you have the correct autograph, if you autograph your name properly, that is indeed a fact that you can retain rights. That is true. That is true. But I think it's a situation where that's a must. If you absolutely must have the contract, then that's what you should do. Like, let's say you drive for Uber and you use that to support your family, you know what I mean, or you whatever other side hustle or main job you have when you're driving, and you need to make sure you have that license up to date and everything's taken care of. Then yes, you can go and reserve your rights upon signing. You know what I mean? Shadow Smurf says only a licensee can be required to show officer ID. Interesting. That makes sense. Licensees would be the people who literally are trustees for the Department of Motor Vehicles, wouldn't it? Yeah, that makes you a trustee. When you get that license, you're effectively saying that you're a trustee, and your responsibility is to make sure that the beneficiaries, which are the people, that are in power, of such, the beneficiaries themselves benefit. So everything you do has to be for the trust. So when you're using their, Department of Motor Vehicles driver's license or, registration and such, all of that stuff, that basically puts you as a trustee. My man's on point though. Licensee. Yep. Contract. If he gave the passport and say that's not good enough, I would say, where's your supervisor? Honestly, man, that's the best way to go about it. You can exit, then you still underneath the Constitution. You can say, you know what? Let me, with all due respect, I need to speak to a supervisor, and I'm gonna go ahead and exercise my Fifth Amendment right at this point. Shut your fucking mouth. Don't say shit until that damn supervisor comes. Don't say nothing. Like, yo. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, you talk when you want to talk when that supervisor gets there. But don't be a dick. Don't be dishonorable. You know what I'm saying? At least in Pennsylvania. I mean, that's everywhere, yo. To be honest, that's everywhere. All of them laws are pretty much the same. You got minor differences, but nah, yo, licensee, you sign that. Like, yo, let's be honest. The DMV doesn't have inherent jurisdiction over you. It's a freaking business. They don't have inherent jurisdiction over your body. No, that's not. That would be slavery, and slavery is outlawed. Nah, it's you got a contract. It's all contracts, man. Like a lot of the patriots throw me off when they be like, yeah, our politicians and such are out of line and such. Yeah, they are in some aspects. Yes, they 1,000% are in some aspects, but in some aspects, you do it to yourself. And like this guy that just got yanked out of his whip and thrown on the ground. You got that driver's license on your shit. You got the driver's license, the plates on your shit. You got the driver's license in your wallet, which they probably went in his car and got his driver's license out of his pocket and perfected jurisdiction at that point. They know you got the driver's license on you. Therefore, you had intent to perform in your duty. I mean, I passed on my travel book, etc. Fire. Remember, they were placed on notice. Yeah, keep that note. Whatever notice you sent to the chief of police, you should keep that notice on you. You know what I mean? What I think is funny is that Eddie Craig video, he never said get a passport. He never mentions that. Let's be honest, bro. I think the passport thing, yo, is it's one of them things people know about, but they don't like talking about. But I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Any speeding ticket of any kind, send it back to him within 72 hours. Sign it. Contract denied or contract refused, case closed. Yeah, I would say that. I would say contract denied or such. There's a few other things you can put on it too. Void is also very powerful. If you know anything about commerce, whenever you have a check or something like that, that's an error on it, and you write void across the check on giant letters, that check is useless. It's an instrument. A check is nothing but an instrument. It's a negotiable instrument. It's the same thing with a ticket that you have to sign and send it in. What do you think happens to those tickets? They take those tickets, they send them over to their CFO, and their CFO monetizes them and trades them on the stock market. The same exact shit. Void goes a long way. The VOID. Like I said, if you operate in commerce, you know what I mean? Yeah, void goes a long way. Jared Theros, thank you for that. Gerald Thuros, I tried that, and I've heard a few people who said that didn't work for them. No contract in that code. I mean, yeah, I've heard that too, man. But you might have to go the distance. But if you didn't put the proper people on notice, like there's not one universal step. And here's the thing. And this is why I talked to you about the NIC. The NIC is the company we talked about. I think about 4 weeks ago now. That basically stores information for driver's licenses and all driving records, arrest records, all that stuff. It pulls up through the driver's license. That particular program, if you receive a ticket that has like a weird type of, it's not paper, it's like a plastic film type thing, and you can't rip it because it just stretches. You know what I'm saying? Those right there are generated by that system. That system is connected with that, so you don't have to sign them anymore. So somehow they were able to get around you having to sign the contract, which is odd. But if you want to pay it, they say send the money order in with the receipt, and then you sign it basically, and you're admitting that you want to pay it. But if you void it out of such, then yeah, then sometimes they'll go ahead and still try to put you through. But yeah, I've seen it. UCC is codified in almost every state. Put your state's equivalent UCC 1308 above the autograph. Yes, sir. 1511, carrying and exhibiting a driver's license on demand. A general rule, every licensee shall possess a driver's license issued to the licensee at all times when driving a motor vehicle, and shall exhibit the license upon demand by a police officer, and when requested by the police officer, the licensee shall write the licensee's name in presence of the officer in order to provide identity. Yeah. Yo, my man just gave you the sauce right there. Because it goes on this. Listen to how it was written. It says, every licensee shall possess a driver's license issued to the licensee at all times when driving a motor vehicle. And then it says, and shall exhibit the license upon demand by a police officer, and when requested by the police officer, the licensee shall write the licensee's name in presence of the officer and provide the identity. So if you don't have a license, you have to write your name, the all cap straw man name down, and you have to give it to the police officer. So basically, it's saying if you're contracted, right? This is what this is. You got to read it. If this is saying you're contracted, you have to give them your information even if you're not driving. It says that right here. And shall exhibit the license upon demand by a police officer, right? That's what that's reading to me, you know. It reads you signed a stupid ass contract and you did bad business and now you're being punished because you're an idiot. And I'm not, this is not personal, but you know, that's what that basically says to me. You know, until he surrenders that license plate and close account, nothing else matters to them. Say you have a standing agreement. Yep. Yes, indeed. Every state and county jurisdiction has foreign nationals police policy manual, and handing them the passport is all that's needed. No words. If so, the law isn't being followed. I mean, dude, yeah, I've actually gave them a passport and they tried to push the issue. That's why I say notices are important too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, the law is not necessarily being followed if you told them you're traveling, but you got some heads out there that'll try to push the issue. Now, if it's your first time doing it, like yo, they'll have a situation where if it's your first time giving the passport up, getting pulled over, they might try you to try to deter you from continuing to move on that path. They might try you. They might mess around, pull you over, and be like, "Yo, you take your license and shit," and then pull up the straw man, pull up the address and all that shit like that. You know what I mean? Pull up all that stuff you got in the system and be like, "Yeah, why? So why are you driving without a license, huh? Why don't you get out of the car? I hassle you. I did that shit to me the first time, But you gotta stand on your square. You gotta know your rights. Like some people just get a passport and think the passport is magic. It's not. The magic is in your mind. Knowing your rights and knowing the law and knowing how to apply it is important. Knowing how to talk to people, you know what I mean? Operating under stress. Stress management is important because when you give that, let me tell you something. When you give that police officer that passport and he goes back to his cruiser and he runs that passport, you are going to see 5 more cars pull up behind you. Because whatever he saw on that screen, he's moving very cautiously at that point. You know what I'm saying? Now you can say it's because the other police officers are making sure everything, he don't mess nothing up and harm you, which is possible. You can say it's a situation where they're trying to intimidate you. There's 2 ways you can look at that. Being a national, giving them the passport, you can have more police officers coming out, more senior officers coming out to watch him and make sure he don't fuck shit up. This could be a huge liability if he fucks something up. I've literally seen a guy get pulled over this week, and he said that the police officer tried to jump in his shit and yell at him and stuff like that. And he told him, I'm not a U.S. citizen." So he's yelling back at him. He was operating in dishonor, but he yelled, "I ain't even no U.S. citizen, such and such." And he said, "I'm a private national." And the police officer, "Calm down." His whole mood changed. He was like, "Look, let's just start over, man. Sorry, I understand I yelled. Maybe I shouldn't have yelled at you. Let's just start over." He said that to the guy. The guy was like, "No problem, man. Let's just start over." They moved amicably, So gotta let these people know who you are. They're gonna assume you're a U.S. citizen. You gotta rebut the assumption. Thirst for truth. I sent them a letter with a ticket making them a trustee. That was 7 months ago. Because they don't want that smoke. You telling them they a trustee and shit. They don't want, nobody want that smoke, man. Nobody, being a trustee is a hot potato. Nobody want to be no fucking trustee. You want all the liability? No, nobody wants the liability. Yeah, I know a guy who did that too before. They dismissed his case. Interrogation is against the law for foreign nationals, so don't answer questions. Yep. It's contract law. Any contract, house, car, whatever you have, 72 hours to cancel. Yep. Except in Yusufel was saying in Georgia, they got rid of that now. They ain't got that in Georgia no more. He said, if you sign a contract, that's what it is. Which is like crazy to me, but think hard before you sign that joint. You could probably mess around and sign it all UCC 1308 without prejudice, right to rescind 3 days or something like that. You could sign that. If you add that stipulation above your signature, that shit goes. Like when you sign on these contracts, bro, you can add your shit in that contract. You know what I mean? It's certain things that can be added. I had the contract and sent it back. Yep. Voiding it, and I showed them a video and put it on YouTube. They got all they like that. YouTube. Yeah, man. Yeah. There's a Jared, there's Dan. Maybe you can help me out. You got some that would be ignorant. Yep. Why do you need thirst? What do you need thirst? Go into LexisNexis and opt out. Yeah, yeah. You definitely need to go into LexisNexis. And we covered that, yo. There was 10 different information superpowers that you need to opt out of. I hope all you guys done that. It's 44 y'all watching. All y'all should be hitting the like button now. Slide me a donation too. We're gonna get to the donations in a minute because I'm gonna be like Goku. I need y'all energy. We're gonna get to that a little later. But yeah, the 10 superpowers, you need to go on those websites and you need to opt out if you're not interested in having your information, sullied all over the goddamn place. I'm new. I need the steps on how to authenticate birth certificate. I'm also on disability and social security. Would that hurt me? No, I wouldn't. As far as authentication, yeah, you can hit me up privately. I can give you the sauce on that. Hit my email. The ticket with the signature perfects the contract and locks you into going to the court. They don't need it they don't need it as in it's in the rules of the driving book, DMV codes. Yeah. There's a Virginia case that says you are traveling to and from work. Yeah, I read that actually. Are you a foreign national Telegram group for A6? We can talk there, not on A6 show. Yeah. Join the group, man. Send them the link, Thirst for Truth. Probably email them or something. What up, Double Dog? What's good, champ? No contract to begin with is the be all. Listen, I like that. I like that no contract. I like that 100%. Yeah, I like that. But listen, being a functioning national, you have the right to contract. The Constitution does protect your right to contract. So you can contract as a national. It's not saying you can't contract. You can. You just have to make sure you protect yourself. You have to protect your interests when you enter into a contract. You know what I mean? You can't just be out here signing your name on shit, not reading it. You know what I mean? Not protecting your rights. That's asinine, man. You got to be on point with it. You have a right to contract, though, man. Contracts ain't always bad. There was Jimmy was in the Foreign National News Network, and he was talking about the TWIC card, the TWIC card, and the TWIC card basically helps you out with TSA checkpoints. I think it gets you through like retarded fast or something like that. And somebody was like, "Yeah, I just don't want a contract at all." I said, "I feel you." And he was like, "Yo, listen, contracts don't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Contracts can work in your power. If you have the right contract, underneath their under their regime, it might give you a little bit of power to use against them. If you know how to protect your rights and protect your interests, then yes, you can enter into a contract." So I agree with Jimmy on that, man. Contracts are not necessarily bad, but you better be able to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You better be able to move with it. The license is only for drivers. Most people aren't drivers. Driving is a commercial term. Taxi driver, truck driver, Uber driver. Yeah, you get the point. Yeah, you're right, Jared. You are a driver if you got a driver's license. Wolf said, you know what? I don't do verbal acrobatics. I keep it simple. Respect that. 1510. Issuance and content of a driver's license. General rule. The department shall, upon payment of the required fee, issue to every qualified applicant a driver's license indicating the type or general class of vehicles the licensee is authorized to drive, and any endorsements or restrictions which a license use of identification cards. If a person has established a policy of accepting a driver's license issued pursuant to the subsection A for the purpose of identification for the acceptance of a check given for payment or purchase for the cashing of a check, that person shall also accept an identification card issued pursuant to subsection B for the same purpose. Man, he dropping some heat, ain't he? A prosecution under the subsection that the person was not presented with a notice of provisions of this subsection. That's some heat, man. That's some heat. I hope y'all paid attention to what my man Shadow Smurf is saying. He got some heat for y'all. I tell him straight up, you're supposed to contact the consular. You do know that right. Please bring out your supervisor. Yep, that's facts. Actually, Department of Homeland Security, he's supposed to reach out to DHS. Don't ask me how I know about that. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to tell you that. Huh? What'd I say? No, Thirst, I'm not a member. You can get my email, phone number if you want. Yo, listen, I got you, Jared. If you want the link, because I ain't gonna be able to get it right now, but if you want the link, hit my email. I'll send you the link. Anybody who wants the link to the Telegram group, hit my email and I'll slide it to you. I got you. A prosecution under this subsection that the person was not presented with a notice of the provisions of this subsection. Bars. I got that twit card. I need to get that, yo. I need to fuck with the twit card, but I gotta holler at y'all because I looked at the application process and there's some things on there that are questionable, and there's some very interesting points on there. They had something on there which is public. You can take a look at the TWIC application, TWIC. It's basically for the TSA checkpoint when you fly a lot. But they actually did have something on there that's the section that was a non-immigrant alien. I thought that was interesting. I read some of the information that was on the website. That's right on the federal website. You can go look at it yourself. It's public. I'm not dispelling any dispelling any secrets. But yeah, you can look right on there, and it has something on there about non-immigrant aliens. So it was seen that they are fully aware what the fuck is going on, and they're just talking in codes. And again, when we, depending on who we speak to, we have to know how to refer to ourselves. So if we're speaking to, we might be talking to law enforcement, we're foreign nationals. If we're talking to, TW, what is it, TSA? Yeah, that will put us as non-immigrant aliens. Your non-resident aliens when you're dealing with the IRS. There's a lot of different terms, and these terms all have, they're all different because these are different agencies. These agencies aren't all the same. So therefore, they have different terminology on which people to deal with, not persons, people. Recording is the options of contracting for nationals. Yeah, I agree with that. TWIC card is for contractors going on certain government land. However, it's the same background check. I've actually seen that people can get TWIC cards that are not necessarily contracting. Excuse me, I said that backwards. Aren't necessarily on government land. However, it's the same background check as TSA. Yeah, I've heard that people can get them that aren't necessarily going to government land. I mean, I would really argue that the TSA checkpoint would technically be government land. Airport terminals, they're federal. That's government land technically. Shit. You could even say a courthouse is. You go in a federal court, you better have a fucking TWIC card. I guess. I don't know. You wonder why they got metal detectors at the beginning of a courthouse. Same reason they got metal detectors at the airport, I would say. You got police officers that have you walk through that scanner. They check your bag. It's the same exact machine that used to be in the police. Matter of fact, they probably just shipped the machines to the state offices. The old machines that they used to have at the old airport setups. They got the newer machines and gave them the old shit. Because if you look at the old the machines at their courthouses, they look like the older scam machines that used to be in the airport. So yeah, I would say when you're going in a courthouse, yes, you're indeed going on foreign land. That is, you better have your passport with you. You know, people go in that bitch with a driver's license. First off, you're in foreign land with a driver's license. You know what I mean? That might not have any jurisdiction there. Then it might. Who knows? I'm not sure what jurisdiction that shit falls under exactly, to be sure. Has to speak with the manager at the airport and ask them ask them what are you private option? What are your private options? Yeah, that's facts. You would have to get there stupid early. A lot of people ain't trying to get up that early. But yeah, you get there 2 hours early. I recommend getting there 2 hours because when you get there 2 hours early, you can try them a little bit. You might be able to ask them certain questions. You might be able to opt out of doing certain shit. You can opt out of walking through that X-ray machine. There's a machine that they have now where it has you put your hands above your head and it's this weird wind that flies around you. I don't like that. So yeah, you can opt out of that. You can opt out of the X-ray machine. You can't opt out of your bags getting checked though. They gotta check the bags, but they'll actually pull you over to the side. You don't have to take your shoes off if you have a medical condition. something hurts on your body. You have a medical condition of some sort. You don't have to take your shoes off. You know what I mean? Email is right there at the bottom, bro. It's right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. You see that banner scrolling? It's right down there. The new ones are like the ones from Total Recall. Yeah, I don't like those shits, man. I don't like those. What if your car company didn't give you a right to, I guess you meant rescind, what should I do? You should hit me privately so we can talk about the car company thing. I forgot though. No, it's all good. But yeah. So, that's what it is. All right, let's move on a little bit. What is this here? What is this? Yo, yeah, I wanted to show y'all this too. All right, take a look at it. I didn't get to finish watching this whole video, so I'm going to watch it with you guys. This will be my first time actually getting through this video right here. All right, let's take a look.
Argue that governmental action is not forceful, Senator Harry Reid claimed that income taxes are voluntary. If the government is in the business of forcefully taking money from some people in order to provide welfare benefits to others, how will the people whose money is being taken feel about the government?
Well, I don't accept your phraseology. I don't think we force people.
Taxation is not forceful?
Well, no.
It's voluntary?
In fact, quite to the contrary. Our system of government is a voluntary tax system.
Oh, if you don't want to pay your taxes, you don't have to?
Oh, of course you have to pay your taxes. But
well, the government will force you to pay, or they'll fine you or imprison you.
We have a voluntary system. The fact of the matter is that if when you pay your taxes, in many other countries it's not voluntary. For example, in many countries, the government makes sure that your employer takes out every penny. Many countries don't file income tax returns.
We have withholding here too, don't we?
Pardon me?
Withholding?
With some programs, yes. But I'm talking about in some countries, European countries as an example, there you don't file an income tax return. There is no need to because your employer takes all the money out. That's the difference between a voluntary and an involuntary system. You can't cheat and not pay your taxes. Right. But I don't accept your phraseology that you forcibly take money from somebody else and give it to that's the way it is on any program.
Can the taxpayer
highway program is the same. We take money, we forcibly take money in your phraseology.
But let me ask you this question.
Put people in the army.
Can the taxpayer decide not to pay his taxes if he wants?
He can not pay his taxes.
What will happen?
He's subject to civil and criminal penalties.
They'll put him in jail. They use force against him. He pays. Everybody pays taxes under threat of jail or fine, under threat of force. In other words, you are forced to pay your taxes, whether you fill out your form voluntarily or whether it's withheld by your employer. You don't have a choice on whether you can pay taxes that are going to be used for welfare programs. You can't make that choice.
Well, but the reason our system is called a voluntary tax system, and I recognize, that ultimately you can't cheat in your taxes, but we have many provisions in the law they don't have in most countries. We have deductibility for home, interest on mortgage payment. They don't have that in most countries. We have deductibility for certain excessive expenses as it relates to health, doctors, hospitals. We have all kinds of tax. Some people call them loopholes, but others would call them incentives for people to do business. And that's why you're not forced to pay certain tax. There are ways if you decide to buy a home.
You can decide not to pay taxes in the United States?
I mean, I really don't understand what you're trying to get at. What the point of the matter is,
because you objected to my phraseology. You say that the government isn't forcefully taking money from some people to provide welfare benefits to others. And in fact, that's what it's doing, because all taxation is forceful. It's backed up by physical force. If you don't pay your taxes, the government will intervene with you forcefully. So you don't have a choice. It's not voluntary. You can't decide not to pay and not suffer a consequence. If you don't pay, you go to jail.
Well,
so you're forced to pay.
You don't go to jail. Some people go to jail. There are all kinds of civil penalties. If you don't pay your tax, you pay.
Gun possession, whatever statute they want to pin you with, as long as you didn't rob, steal, or kill somebody, you're going to beat it. So check this out. Found not guilty. Y'all know how many times I've been arrested. This was in 324 this year. Found not guilty. Bond $1,000, which was $100. And this, I got arrested for this in November. I got arrested twice. I'm going to show you. Twice in the same month. One, I got found guilty. Same thing. And one, I didn't get found. I got found not guilty. Now, I'm going to explain to you why and how they did this. Now, look what they did. They only gave me fines on this one, and this one is not guilty. All right, so let's start from the top real quick. Number one, you need an affidavit with you all the time to rebut any assumption that you're a resident or you're a U.S. citizen. The U.S. citizenship really don't matter unless you like dealing with like a business, like you want to create EIN numbers, you know. They don't ask you, are you a U.S. citizen, but they know that you most likely are if you use a residence in the U.S. But anyway, I got this paper. I returned this ID in 2021. So I was arrested in November. I returned this 7, so what's that, July, somewhere around there? Yeah. Okay. It's the little trust I made. You can create an EIN number for that too. All right, now let's get to the meat and the potatoes of this. Like, what is this really about? Why did I get found not guilty? And also, why did I get found guilty on one? I'm gonna just be flat out truthful with you, because if I like go into deep detail, it's gonna confuse you, bro. You cannot use an address. On this case, they pinned this address on me. I didn't give them a name, nothing. They pulled me over, I gave them nothing. They just arrested me. I went in there, they put me in a naked suit for only for a couple hours. All of the guards knew me, so they let me out soon. But you feel me? Nothing. So he pinned my old address on me, which I saw in the, when they send you papers and all that. So I was trying to tell him, like, I don't got no address, but he still pinned that address on me. But now I got this certified, sealed. So when I go to court again, I don't live at that address. That's not my residence. I don't receive mail there. I don't do nothing with that address. That's the last address I had an ID, any type of, that's my last known address. And it's invalid. Now, why am I on the address phase like that? Why am I saying, you know, why am I so big on this? Because, bro, go watch Taekwon X video. Lately, it been hitting me like the last.
Shout out to
months,
Taquan
like,
X.
it's all in the address. Just look at cops. Look at all these police shows. Also, look at Florida. They got a bond show, a bond jail show, whatever. Look at how they treat the people without an address who not residents, and look at how they treat the residents. You do not want to be labeled as a resident, bro. It's not good. Number 2, I could tell y'all some meat and potatoes, but if y'all gotta just get in, I'll just show y'all the EIN. You know, bro, showing y'all the EIN. Like, get with it, man. It's as easy as simple. Number 2, man, look, you no matter what, if you got an address, you're gonna get found guilty. I really ain't even had no defense because it's like and another thing, if you got an address, man, the statutes apply. That's it. Like, I'm trying to take it to the appeals. I mean, the Supreme Court on 2 cases. One of them, the Supreme Court said they don't even want to further review. That's just one. Then I got another one. I'm writing up a whole nother brief differently. So, bro, that address, they already got jurisdiction. I'm trying to challenge the constitutionality, you know, but it's all about the address. Where's your resident at? They need the address to bond the case over. In this case, found not guilty, I had no defense, bro. They gonna find you guilty no matter what. You feel me? But it's all about the address. They knew they couldn't bond the case over because when I went to jail, the officer asked me, where do you live? Where do you live? I'm study telling him, like, bro, I don't live at that address. And let me tell y'all how it happened. Because, like, this one, I was going to record this interaction, but I had just got an iPhone 13, and I'm trying to go to Walmart to get a case. I ain't even bring the phone out with me. I promise I just got it. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And I already dropped it on the side, and it had this soft aluminum, so it had like a dent. So I'm going to Walmart to get it. I got locked up with no phone, no nothing that day on the first one. That was like November 1st, 2021. And then on the second one, I recorded Toby. Man, y'all don't know him, but I know him. I recorded him. I'm like, I'm coming down the street. I'm looking for somebody. I pull over in the parking lot. I see the police just ride past. I'm like, cool. Then they hit a U, start watching me. I'm like, oh, I know they on something today. You feel me? I felt it. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what it is. I'm on the phone. We'll chop it up. Then I see the police go like to the parking lot next on the side of me. So I go over there too. Like, what if they want me, I ain't gonna, you feel me, run. Like, I ain't got nothing to run from. So I go over there too. I'm like, I hop out with my phone. I'm like, what's up? Like, you feel me? He's like, Mr. King, you got a warrant. Ooh. I'm like, all right. Well, if I got a warrant, then I know I'm going to jail. Ain't even really nothing. You feel me? Fight for it if I got a warrant. And I knew it was for like a bond violation, like some stupid, like it wasn't nothing major. But so he arrested me for that, and then he charged me with this. And then he kept asking me, where do you live? Where do you live? You know? He's like, well, I'm gonna put you in as homeless. Cause I'm like, dude, I don't live there no more. You know I don't live there no more. Like, I don't know who live there. Like, it was a city house. Like, I was renting from the city. So, you know, but the 2 weeks later, I see the same officer again. Matter of fact, I don't know. I ain't gonna exaggerate. I want to say at least 2 times. I see this officer 2 weeks later. One time he sit and watch me for 30 minutes. I guess he was trying to see if I live at this other address. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he just watched me for 30 minutes. Then he'll leave. Then another time, you know, I saw him again too. But the point is, as long as I don't got an address, bro, they're not doing nothing. You can't have an address. My address for my work is in another country. Like, if I'm lying, now, you know, I don't want to tell y'all too much, but my address is in another country. Y'all could do it too. Y'all gotta go here. Y'all could look up one of these addresses out of Canada. And y'all can go to any one of these countries. Get y'all an address. You're not a resident of the United States. As long as you're here, you listen. Roger Sal's. That's all you need to know about, like, the right to travel. You wanna win the right to travel. You wanna win DHS cases, whatever. Like, whatever statute agency trying to deal with you, ATF, all of them, especially the ATF, man. Listen, all these, they only make laws, or it's not laws, statutes and regulations for residents and U.S. citizens. Okay, go return your ID. You really want to travel? You really want your right to travel? You got to return that shit. You got to get a passport. Yeah, it's gonna be $100. You want to buy beer? You want to buy cigarettes? You want to go out, do whatever you want to do? You need a passport. So you got to rebut everything. You can't be a non-citizen national. That's only for Samoan Americans or whatever the fuck it is. So if you're a national and you want to rebut, you are not a resident. As long as you are not a resident, you shouldn't go to jail. Well, I still went to jail because I had a warrant, but you are not a resident, man. I'm showing y'all the proof. I ain't getting too crazy with it because I know what I'm doing, man. I know, you know what I'm saying? All right, so in every statute that they make, you can tell who it applied to because they always put it in there, either a U.S. citizen or a resident. So if you rebut that, you out of their jurisdiction. That's keeping you out of their jails. They gotta take off the mask and say something else. All government is by consent. They cannot govern you without your consent. That's why where you live at? Where you live at? We need to know. Come on, tell us. Just give us an address. You know, resident. Then they got you.
My man just dropped some heavy gold on y'all. I hope y'all soak that up. You know what I mean? Hope y'all absorb that. Anybody who's new watching this or learning about all this stuff, I hope you picked that up what he was putting down, because that's a big one right there, man. Telling you. That's why I said, if you know how to contract, you know what I mean? You can contract. You just got to know how to contract if you decide to do so. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it is. My man said 2 times speed, bro. Yo, my man Shadow Smurf doesn't have no patience. Yo, has zero patience. If he was a created character on one of them video games, his patience would be like -5. You gotta add points just to make it 0. Man. But yeah, my man was right. Yeah, so you know, we got that. We already know what it is. That's why I tell y'all, man, if y'all if you're in a situation where you got to fill something out, the general delivery is for people without an address. It basically says you don't have an address, but you can send mail here if you need to. Basically, you got to know how to contract. All right. I got one more thing, and then we're gonna open up the line. And we 2 hours in. I told y'all we was gonna go in tonight. It's taking a little longer. Thank y'all for staying up late with me. But you know, or rock out. All right, I want y'all to watch this video right here, because I haven't seen. We always see First Amendment auditors, but I've never seen a Second Amendment auditor go this hard as this guy did. So let's take a look at what my man did with his Second Amendment audit in Florida.
Honor your oath. Honor your oath. Honor your oath. Honor your oath.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. Today's story features Solo Yacker from the Armed Fisherman channel, who on June 14th of 2021 was open carrying on his way to a fishing spot in Clearwater Beach. He carried a Gadsden flag, a fishing pole, a Glock 23, a concealed SIG P938, and an AR pistol, commonly mistaken as an AR-15 rifle. As he walked through the crowded beach, several people greeted him and somewhat cheered on what he was doing.
How you doing?
I like that. You know, it's kind of like a protest and like.
It's not a protest.
No, I know, but it's like I don't give a fuck.
Hey, it's like, hey, just respect my constitutional rights.
I'm all about it, man.
Yeah, man. God bless America.
That's right.
Lifeguard Bradford attempted to speak to Solo, but he didn't want to answer questions, so the lifeguard called for a Clearwater police response.
What's up? How y'all doing? What up, dude? Yeah, I'm good, dude. I don't want to talk to you.
Clearwater, no rescue. Gulfview Boulevard South and Hamden Drive for a male walking with an American flag and a assault-style rifle around him.
In Florida, there is not a permit to open carry a weapon. Permits are exclusively to allow concealed carry, short of a guard card or in a law enforcement capacity. However, under 790.253H, a person can lawfully carry a firearm if engaged in fishing, camping, or lawfully hunting, or going to or returning from any of those activities. You would imagine that with such an issue that would cause high stress and potentially deadly situations, officers would be trained to know when the elected rulers allowed their subjects to arm themselves. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and as a result, Lieutenant Hasty finds Solo, runs up to him, and grabs his arm. In her report, she writes that he did not resist as the officers detained and disarmed him.
Whoa. Hey, why you got your hands on me?
Because you're walking with a firearm.
I know. I'm going fishing. Look, I got a fishing pole.
You're not fishing right now.
I know, I'm going to that fishing pier right there.
Okay.
There's a fishing pier. Why do you have your hands on me, ma'am?
Because I'm waiting for backup.
Nick Nasty.
Really?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to go fishing, and you're stopping me from going fishing.
Okay.
This is against the law.
No, sir, it's not.
Yeah, it is. What is your problem?
You can't be walking down.
I'm walking to go fishing, ma'am. I'm going right to that fishing pier.
Okay.
What's your problem? Excuse me, sir. What are you a sergeant? Who are you?
Lieutenant, though.
Okay. What is your name, badge number?
Center 9808.
Yours?
Objective cap 6440.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Let that go, please. Thank you.
Dude, I was just going fishing.
Okay. But you're not fishing right now, right?
You have to understand the law.
You can't fish here.
I'm not fishing here. I'm going.
Relax.
I'm going.
Sir, you're scaring everybody walking down.
That's fine, dude. Sir, you're throwing my $300 fishing pole in the dirt right now.
I'll pick it up for you.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for my $300 fishing pole. I am not fishing here. I am going fishing to the fishing pier. That is where I haven't fished. I haven't thrown a fishing pole. I haven't done anything.
You want to go up to the? We need to
No,
walk up there. Come on, sir.
we're not. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law.
Do you think it's appropriate walking
Yes,
down
absolutely.
with an AR-15 on your
Absolutely.
chest, where there's children and everybody on
Absolutely.
the beach? You
Yes.
think that's appropriate?
Yes.
You don't think that's going to cause problems?
I get people might call.
How about we go up there?
No, I don't want to go call. 901-151. What law did I break? What law did? No. What law did I break? What law did I break?
Listen, there's city ordinances.
I didn't fish here.
Okay.
I'm going to the fishing pier right there.
You walk the entire beach to go to the fishing
I
pier?
can walk
It's
any.
walking right
It's
there at the
going
end of the
to.
pier.
It's going
It's
to.
much more accessible.
It's going to and returning from. It doesn't matter where I am trying to go fishing. It's about going to and returning from.
Okay.
I can walk anywhere I want to go trying to go fishing. And I'm literally telling you, I'm going to. Dude, you don't have to fucking hold my hand like I'm a criminal.
Relax. Just relax.
I haven't done.
Look, my guy, you got a gun strapped to your chest.
I get it, dude.
And that's why we're doing what we're doing. So relax.
Because I'm not.
Relax. Just
Did
take a
you
deep
swear an
breath.
oath to the
Relax.
Constitution?
100%.
Despite his attempt to reason with Lieutenant Hasty and Detective Kappa, as well as explaining the law to them regarding open carrying while traveling to go fishing, the officers maintain their detention as multiple backup units arrive on scene.
What's the problem with you guys defending your oath to the Constitution of Florida, Florida and the United States. What's the problem? Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing? Am I lawfully allowed? I don't care. Am I lawfully allowed to do it? I don't have to listen. Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing? Yes or no? Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing?
What's your name? What's your name? Listen.
Am I lawfully?
Listen to us. Just give us a few moments.
I don't need to listen. Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing?
Okay, well, you're going fishing, right?
Yes, I'm going to that.
You need an AR-15 to go fishing.
You don't need to know why.
I'm just asking
You don't need to know a reason.
Can you give me a reasonable answer to that?
Yes, I've almost been robbed while I've been fishing.
And you need an AR-15?
I need whatever I need to protect myself.
Okay. You're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
All right. What law did I break?
We're going to get to the bottom of all that.
What law did I break?
For me just
No. Do you have body cams?
I do. Sure.
Okay. Is it running?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What law did I break? What law did I break? Am I allowed to go fishing while hunting, fishing, or camping? Yes or no, sir? Yes or no?
You seem to know it pretty well.
I know it.
Okay.
I do this across the state of. I know that. I'm going fishing to that fucking fishing pier. You dumb shit.
Okay. It's not, why you gotta be all nasty for it?
What? Why am I in handcuffs? Why are you
detained?
Why are you taking my phone? I don't consent to any search or seizure.
Searched, but I'm gonna take
You're seizing my safety is paramount to yours. Dude, you guys are a bunch of
in the same place right now.
No, I'm not.
Protect you.
No, you're not protecting me. You're stripping me of my rights. Call your state attorney. Call your state attorney and see if they want to prosecute a guy walking to go fishing.
Okay.
I'm walking to that fishing pier right now.
Right.
That's where I am going.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, you are a piece of shit.
We'll do one handcuff. Yeah, I got it. Take outside the box.
Hey, did you swear an oath to the Constitution?
I did.
You're a piece of shit then.
Did you serve, sir?
Don't worry about if I served. You guys.
Officer Moore tells Solo that he served in the military, which should only hold him more accountable. His declaration only makes him look even more ridiculous as he removes the weapon sling in the most difficult way possible, as it is affixed with a quick detached swivel.
You guys, why don't you just use the QD mount, dude? Just use the QD mount, because I gotta.
Can you relax? What's your name?
Don't worry about what my name is.
Okay, well, I was just going to ask if you could just hang out with us for a little bit.
I don't want to hang out with you. I want to go fishing. That's all I want to do is go fishing. That's all I was doing, is going fishing.
Okay.
And I was walking to go fishing.
So you weren't trying to get a reaction?
No, I don't.
Walking this entire span of being
It doesn't matter. It's going.
You have an AR-15 strapped to you?
I get what you're trying to tell me, but I'm allowed to do it through the state of Florida.
We need to confirm a few things and you are on your way.
You're fishing.
Solo reiterates that he does not want to identify or stay with the officers.
Missing teeth can affect far more.
Don't worry about what they call me, dude. I'm lawfully allowed to go where I'm going.
You understand the concern, though?
I don't care about people's concern. I care about your reaction.
The officers eventually bring Solo to their cruiser, and as Solo is placed into the vehicle, Officer Moore inspects his weapon, and despite his military experience, he shows absolutely zero muzzle awareness, and negligently points the AR pistol in the direction of Solo and the two officers handling him.
Don't mess with my... See, you're pointing my gun in my direction, sir. And there's one chambered in there. Whatever, dude. Never need to point a firearm at somebody.
The officers huddle up and share some smiles over the encounter, and after a few minutes, they attempt to have him identify again, during which the officer claims he is aware of the law, and that they need to determine whether Solo is a felon, despite having any reasonable suspicion of criminal activity or probable cause to effect an arrest.
I just talked to her.
Hey, get my shit out, dude.
Hey, sir.
You.
Okay. So, will you identify yourself to us?
I don't have to.
Will you have to identify?
I am going to a fishing pier where my fishing license is covered under that fishing pier.
I understand.
And listen, you're not identified. Listen, you're not wrong.
I know I'm not.
Okay.
So where are we at?
However,
where are we at? I'm going to a fishing pier where I'm covered under the law. I do 901-151.
I'm aware of what
901-151. What crime did I commit?
However,
911.
Are you going to let me talk?
Nope. Let me have this card. Give me my stuff back.
You have to verify that you're not a convicted felon.
You don't. The government the federal case law has already proven that I do not need to prove myself until I've committed a crime.
Are you refusing to identify yourself?
I'm not refusing anything right now. I am not breaking the law.
Okay, so are you going to tell me who you
I
are?
am not breaking the law. I've already contacted my lawyer.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we
so you're going to get a phone call and saying, "Hey, release this guy."
Okay. Are you going to identify yourself to us?
Under what law did I break? What law did I break?
You're detained because you're walking around.
What law did I break?
I'm trying to explain to you.
What law?
You're temporarily detained.
What law?
Okay.
What law? What law?
Are you going to identify yourself?
What law did I break? And I will identify myself. Piece of shit.
Solo refused to identify himself as he had not committed a crime. However, because of his live stream, multiple viewers began calling the department to urge them to release him. One of the callers gave his name, and the department ran his information to clear him as a prohibited person, despite lacking a lawful reason to do so.
The guy you have arrested, his name is Michael Taylor. He was an open carry activist in Florida. So just try to get a hold of that officer and get him out of handcuffs.
Finally, after being detained for nearly 45 minutes, the officers realized they had messed up and released Solo with his weapons.
Oh, you're starting to figure it out, huh? Oh, I got you. It looks like they're starting to get phone calls from people that I know. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Hi, Michael. You ready?
Yeah, I've been ready. What's your name and badge number?
Oh, my name's Officer Abuse. You want me to do those handcuffs off?
Yeah, I want the hand.
Yo, they had this man in that damn cop car that looks like a metal tin box out on the beach on a hot day. Dude, this, bruh.
Handcuffs off. What's your name? Spell it for me.
It's right there.
Is that what you're going to tell the judge?
Tell the judge what?
Yeah, because
That's my name. Yeah. PUSA.
And your badge number?
It's 6790.
Perfect. And yours? While you're taking my handcuffs off, what's your name? And spell your name?
DRUMMON.
And your badge number?
308.
You can go ahead and do whatever you got to do. Take the cuffs off, dude. I don't care. I don't care about what you got to do. And what was your badge number? I'm sorry.
308.
Thank you. And hey, what was your name?
Moore.
And how do you spell it? How do you spell it?
MOORE, just right here.
Yeah, don't point to it because is that what you're gonna tell the judge?
Yes.
All right, perfect. And then your badge number?
Can you relax so you can
Shut up. Shut up. What's your badge number?
7996.
Your name and badge number?
Michael, we're trying to get the handcuffs off you.
Okay, take the handcuffs off.
You want me to explain to you like
I don't want an explanation because you guys are all a bunch of tyrants. Did you swear an oath to the Constitution and the Florida Constitution of Florida? Did you swear an oath to the Florida Constitution and the state laws that we have here?
Michael.
Did you swear an oath?
I'm talking to you, Michael.
Okay, then perfect. I just want to, I'm taking my guns, I'm going to reload them. Hi, everybody, I'm reloading my guns.
Can I ask that you do it over here out of the public? So you don't cause concern?
I'm gonna reload my guns. If you guys want to walk away while I reload my firearms.
My vehicle, Michael, so I can't do it.
Dude, you guys took my sling off, dude. Are you kidding me? All you had to do is take the QD off my. You're a dumb. You're a dumb. You're a dumb. And you're a dumb. All right. After this, you guys can kick the cross because I gotta fix my fucking sling. I'm not pointing my gun at you. It's pointed at the fucking ground. You guys are all pieces of shit.
Michael, are you
shut the fuck up.
fishing now?
I was on my way to fishing, you dumb.
Get your flag and your fishing pole.
Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Every one of y'all can kick the fuck out of here. You piece of shit.
Easy.
You.
Because now you're talking about being disorderly.
This is, I can redress my government.
You're causing people to look at us.
I can redress my government in any way, shape, and form. You, and you. Get the out of here, you pieces of shit.
Yo, can we just get a round of applause on that badass camera variation they just put when he was telling them F you? That shit was beautiful. I felt like I was watching a movie. That was glorious.
Hey everybody, what I'm doing is lawful. What I am doing is lawful. And they are trying to criticize me and not defending their oath. Bye. Kick the out of here. Dude, until I fix my shit and I can put it back on me in a proper way, you all can kick fucking rocks, dude.
I'm gonna stand right here, though.
Do not shoot me.
Just re-swing it.
What's got your beard? Towards the end of the encounter, Officer Moore says the following.
And that's how you get people to leave Clearwater.
Making it clear that their intent was to run Solo out of town. That is also compounded by radio traffic that shows they knew who he was and what he was doing.
I just want to advise you there is a male subject shoreline walking towards Tower 3. Appears to be armed, refusing to exit the beach at this time. He's trying to use his Second Amendment right.
Roger.
The officers never found the concealed handgun, appendix carried in an inner waistband holster, but...
Excellent police work. So you literally had a mofo with an arm in his dip. You thought he took everything off of him, and you did not.
The department investigated Solo for 45 days after the incident, looking for a way to charge him with disorderly conduct because of the way he redressed his grievance about his unlawful detention. Lieutenant Hasty wrote on her report that while Solo was detained, she looked up the statute and found that she was wrong, but claimed in her report that a reasonable and prudent person wouldn't walk around in front of other people with an AR-style firearm, despite swearing an oath to uphold the Constitution, including those pesky First and Second Amendments. Solo has not yet filed a complaint, as it will be filed along with the lawsuit he intends to pursue once his current litigation against Ball Harbor is complete. Because if you didn't know, this isn't the first time this has happened. In fact, it seems as though most law enforcers are completely uneducated on the law. The original video for the Ball Harbor incident and his pro se depositions for the corresponding lawsuits will be linked below. I will also be covering an update to that story once it completes. But for now, be sure to head over to his channel and let him know I sent you. I edited down a lot of this video for time.
All right, so my man's channel is The Armed Fisherman. So my man got busy. Yo, does anybody else know exactly how much this dude is about to get paid for this? That might actually be the move. Like, yo, that might be an easy way to get some cheese up off the gov. Like, walk around with the AR or something, like, you're just chilling with it, you know what I mean? Not bothering nobody. And they just come up to you and start harassing you and taking your rights away and shit. When your state law and the Constitution clearly says, you know what I mean, what it says. That's an easy lawsuit. Like, what the... You literally could get paid off of that. That dude's about to make some money. Oh man, he is about to get paid. He is not gonna, the kind of money this dude has, he might fuck around and be able to buy his own plot of land and build a 3-story house on that bitch. He's about to get paid fast. Yo. Jeez, man. Let me go back to I missed a lot of comments. When pressed, you may use the consulate of choice of authentication that was used as a resident. What does that mean, Jacob? Break that down for me, man. I want to know more about that. I got patience. I just listen to books and videos all day at 2 times speed, and the armed fisherman is awesome as long as you are going to or returning from a fishing or camping post. Yeah, that's the law in Florida. Some other states are probably like that too. Why are you getting nasty? Why am I in handcuffs? These are questions we need answered. Like, I mean, what are you talking about? Like, I have a person I don't even know. Yes, person I don't even know holding my arm. Get the fuck off me. I mean, if you didn't have that badge on, you'd be on the floor. Just hang out with us. I don't want to hang out. I want to go fishing. Exactly. Relax. We want to check your pulse. Checking for a Rolex. This is so good. Oh, man, they fucked up big time. You can see they were standing in that circle and they had to take the verbal abuse he was dishing out afterwards because they know they fucked up horribly. Yeah, and the guy was like, easy, easy. You're working on this early. No, buddy. Nothing you can do. You making it worse. Nothing you can do right now is going to pull you out of the fucking fire you're about to be in. You're about to literally be on a chopping block. Like, y'all violated. If that's the worst case of color of law I'd have seen. They literally told this man a law that did not exist and enforced that shit. Like, y'all are out of pocket. What are y'all doing? So y'all don't even know the statutes? Sheesh. I mean, I guess y'all don't know the law, but y'all don't know the statutes? Damn, bruh. Time to get paid. Yep. Risk management, here we go. Oh, yes. Put together a big-ass bill and send them there. Go ahead and pay this bill for me real quick. Deprivation of rights under color of law. Ugh. Claims on bonds. Ugh. Sheesh. That's ugly. That was a nasty one right there. That's one of them. The one that the shrapnel takes out a bunch of people standing nearby. You know what I mean? Because it was at least 6 police officers over there. That shrapnel took them out. The one dude that took the arm off of him was the biggest fuck up. Everybody else involved caught the shrapnel. Yep. Then they threw his freaking fishing rod on the ground. And fishing rods, I'm not a fishing type of guy, but I'd assume with that metal rod that winds up, it has to be oiled of some sort. You drop that bad boy in the sand, and that sand gets all inside that rod and fucks it up. It can't unwind and coil like it needs to. You got to replace the coil, and you have to clean off the spool. Like, bro, you just out here acting crazy. Y'all out here reckless. Sheesh. Release him with a paycheck. Their best bet would have been to call the state treasury department, and just tell them to cut the fucking check right there. Look, go ahead and cut a check for $20,000 and take it out of our pensions, or try to lowball him, see if he's stupid enough to take it. That motherfucker would have been stupid enough to take that though. No sir. Ford Police Interceptor Utility. Yep. I'm saying, uh-oh. Don't act so polite. Nice. Oh, yeah, y'all are in agreement. Had that fee schedule in place. If you already had the fee schedule in, that just speeds up the process because there was already something on record to tell you all the time I was on. And y'all still acted the way y'all wanted to act. Nah, he has yet to pursue, I think, litigation at this point. Hopefully he does in the future. That video just dropped, I think, 4 days ago. If he was black, he would have been beyond dead. Maybe not. Maybe not, Ricky. Maybe not, man. Maybe not. I'm beyond the point of blaming everything on the way you look. Maybe not, man. Maybe not. It's possible, I suppose, but maybe not, man. His other video had him give the cop on trial with the cop's lawyer on Zoom. He got to be legal counsel for his own trial. Fire. Hope he laid the smackdown on that ass, too. If not, I would play that one right now. Which, email that to me, man. Maybe it's a little late. I'm not going to be able to cover that tonight, Albert. It's a little late. I'm going to open this lineup in a minute. That's exactly how to speak to policy enforcers. It's unreal how undereducated police are on laws. Is this intentional to make people not like police, to support the current movement agenda, defund them? It's a lot of points to it. That's a great question, Jill. I think that's one of the points. You have the people who got lazy and didn't have their nose in the books and who didn't assert their rights for the longest time. So that was one of the problems. And then you got these agendas that are put out to not purposely educate police on certain laws and things of that nature. They're enforcing color of law for the most part, which is statutes and codes, but it comes back down to contracts. But they didn't even educate them on contracts. They gave them a nail and a hammer, and they gave them a hammer, and now they walk around thinking everything is a damn nail. And it's not that simple. There's levels to this shit. And yes, it is 100% the responsibility of the trainer to train the trainee. And at this point, these people are trainees and they haven't been trained properly. That's why a lot of them use that qualified immunity and they get away with it. Because it's like, yo, I'm only doing what y'all train me to do. Y'all train me to do it this way. They are supposed to know statutes and check those before they act. But it's a certain amount of plausible deniability they have they're able to get away with. So I would make the argument that's what's going on. And yeah, You know, when they reeling people in for these arrests and stuff like that, you know, they're getting this bond money. You know, this bond transactions are happening. You know, people bailing out. I mean, it's big business, man. You all know the private jail sector is privately owned, and it's big business. That's what it is. So, you know, the more ignorant they keep these police officers and throw them a little bit of qualified immunity when they really fuck up like these guys just did. I don't think they're going to get qualified immunity though. I think when you break a statute, that's nah. They don't play that. The Constitution, they'll say, all right, as long as you ain't injured the dude physically, you ain't bruise him up, we'll give you some qualified immunity. But if you get egregious with it, they can't like, we can't even cover you on this one. You on your own. But I would make the debate. That's what it basically is. Pursue it. Oh, you gotta pursue that, man. You got to. And to make matters worse, the dude was live streaming, so he literally probably had 50,000 people watching that shit live. Like, bro, you are. Do you have any idea how royally fucked you are? You have 50,000 people that were watching that shit who can come into court and testify. It's so fucked. Y'all gonna be working at CVS after this. Ignorance is costly. Let them pay the price. They should have to pay that shit though. It shouldn't come out of the U.S. citizens' dollars, even though the debtor is always responsible for the debt. I still say, that shit like stuff like that should come out of the police's pension. That shit should come out of your retirement, bro. Everybody involved, all of that shit should come. Y'all should divvy that shit up. It should come out of your motherfucking retirement. Cause like that's crazy to me. Don't even know the statutes. And y'all the statute enforcers. Y'all don't even know the statutes. That's crazy. Real educated sheriff uphold the laws even against crooked politicians, which is why we have an abundance of should, because I've heard some sheriffs still play ball too. So I'll say that. They should. No problem. They stepped on a lawful landmine. Yeah, they walk right into that shit. I mean, I'm telling you, bro, that's an easy payday right there. Easy payday. Because a lot of these police officers don't even know the Constitution. Easy payday. When you inform them they are violating your rights and they continue to violate your rights, they lose their qualified immunity. That's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, I agree with that. Bonds for the James. Yo, Bad Wolf said, he said, man, fuck all this back and forth. Y'all done fucked up. Let me get that bond information, baby. Hey, I ain't even mad at it. All right, let me go ahead and drop this link in here. Man, it is 12:30. This got to be the latest I've been up with y'all, if not one of the latest times. That's the link right there. If y'all want to hop in and drop some words on us, some words of wisdom, or bring up any interesting points of view, we are here for it. That's why we up late, right? But yeah, I agree, man, Jared, 100%. Once you tell them they violating your rights, that qualified immunities, that's supposed to go right out the window. You already put them on point. You definitely put them on point. Like, yo, you not only have you violated the state constitution, you've also violated the federal constitution, and you just made up a law that there is no statute even that you cannot open carry. And there's dudes open carrying on the way to fish. You just messed up all around the board. You literally made your own law and enforced it. Shit. Okay, that's how y'all rolling. All right, in the green room, I got my man Victor Vaughn. What's good, champ? Okay, that's how y'all rolling. Oh shit, this motherfucker. Yeah. I'm gonna wait for him. We'll bring him back in when he's available. Yeah, but yeah, they they had a stern talking to later on. I guarantee it. Make sure I'm caught up on all these comments. I think I caught up on everything. But yes, indeed, man. So yeah, Second Amendment, people doing Second Amendment audits. They did First Amendment audits, and I will say I have noticed a difference in the way police move. You know what I mean? A lot of these police are moving a lot more cautious now because of these auditors. You know, lawyers always call auditors pesky, like asshole running around with a camera, blah, blah, blah. Listen, at the end of the day, bruh, if you don't protect your rights, who will? I'm gonna bring my man back in, Victor Von Doom. What up, son? He still has mic muted. You live, man. What's good? We can't hear you. Got you on mute. Got unmute your shit. Yeah, unmute your
All right, there we are.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was a great video.
That was excellent, Joe.
That was perfect. But I just wanted to say it. It's funny. I see the relationship between people and the so-called policy enforcers as how can I put it? It's like you ever heard that psychological assessment of you have a neat person and they end up living with a slob, and the neat person tries to keep their space neat more and more, and the more they try to keep the place neat, the slob makes it messier and messier, and then eventually the neat person starts becoming less concerned with being neat, and at the end of the day they're both slobs. The neat person now becomes a slob, they don't care, and now their living space is totally trashed because it takes so much effort to be responsible. It takes so much effort to be neat, whereas it takes no effort to be a slob. So when you use that as an analogy for the legal system and for the public, it seems like the public got sloppier. It seems like people got lulled to sleep. And then think about it. Who do they hire to be police officers? Members of the public. So if you grew up lazy, don't know the law, don't know anything, but you're doing it for a paycheck, or I know some police officers who say, I wanted to help. I wanted to be of service. I want to help. He doesn't know, like, how many of them would really do the job if they knew they were becoming policy enforcers?
Exactly.
You're not a hero. You're not going to be saving people. Okay, this is what you're going to be doing. So you hire people who are ignorant, who are made ignorant from birth. And now we have a society that's all lazy, ignorant, stupid, dumb, don't know nothing. You get that armor, you get that gun, you get that badge, and you think you on top of the world. No, take that gun away and see how willing they are to do the job. No, that's the way I see it. That we're just, stack. It's how high can you stack shit? Okay. You got ignorant people, you got ignorant police officers who go home ignorant, go to work ignorant, do ignorant shit, and they have immunity to do the ignorant shit. And there's nothing different between them and Pookie and Ray Ray. Because I had to deal with Pookie and Ray Ray. Shot up one of my houses. And then, I go to police and I'm like, well, what if I defend myself? It was like, you can't do that.
What?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, wait a minute. Let me get this
Jersey,
straight.
right?
No, Ohio.
Ohio. What? Really?
Yeah.
Y'all got constitutional carry out there. Y'all can't defend your houses?
Well, it depends on where you are. And, I was pissed. I was like, yeah, I'm going to put a hot one in the ass. They can come around here again. He's like, nope, now you're a vigilante. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, let me get this straight. Y'all can shoot anybody. Pookie and Ray Ray can shoot anybody. They feeded each other. Okay. So this is what's happening. The cure to all of this is knowledge. If more people would stand up, if everybody on that beach was like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Get your hands off of him, and they crowded up, cops would have left. They would have left. It'd have been over. You mess with that money, you show them unity, and they got nothing. They absolutely have nothing. And that's what needs to happen. More people, more knowledge. You get pulled over, there's not enough of you. There's one A6. But it was 50 A6. 50 A6 in a city. Trust me. The word will get around. We either got to find a way to stop them or leave them the hell alone.
Yep.
Don't give them no spotlight. Don't give them no attention.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll just stay 50.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. That's facts too. Because listen, when I'm out here traveling and running around, dude, I see at least maybe every other week I see like 2 or 3 private plates.
Yep.
So, dude, maybe I swear what we doing is making a difference, man.
It's making a difference.
People are waking up, and I think what's happening is, one of the reasons they don't bother me anymore is because they know what's up. They
Right.
run into nationals. People that give out passports or Moorish American travel documents or private trust documents, secure party cards, all that stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
they're like, yo, this shit is real. Once they, this shit is actually real, they might get that talking to by their senior officer, like, yo, you'd be better off just leave them alone, to be honest. I mean, you can give them a ticket, yo, but I would leave them alone.
Right. And you put them on notice, before you step off, like that one guy, he's up there reading it from his phone, I mean, if I'm not sure, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna take the ticket and I'm gonna just go on. That's what I paid for, because I didn't read.
Exactly.
And I've been there before where I didn't memorize something and I said, you know what, got me today. And I went on ahead and acquiesced.
Take the L. Yeah, you take the L,
Yeah.
And then you use that for next time to be inspired to get ready.
Right. And what he was with the guy with the firearm or the weapon, what he was doing, out here, I was told by police officers, verbal assault. This one cop was like, I'm gonna tell you something, because it was some situation. I was young, dumb, and full of anger, and I had my dashiki on, and I had my walking stick, and I had my mishwak in my mouth, and I'm walking through the mall, and people are like, "Oh my God, he's got a weapon," and so the mall cops are trying to tell me, get out, and I'm like, "You don't have no authority over me." So they call the real police. And they're trying to escort me out, and I said, I shop here. And they say, all right, you know what? You're gonna have to leave. We don't care. You have a weapon. This is not a weapon. It's a walking stick. And they said something to me, and I said, F you. One of the cops was a brother. He said, let me talk to you, because the other guy was getting ready to get it. He unsnapped his holster.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he said, let me talk to you. So I said, okay. He said, listen. He said, you know why so many young brothers are get beat down or they get multiple charges? He said, what you did back there is called verbal assault.
Mm.
And we're given the power to an FU out of our name, anything that's an assault. He said, so when brothers are pulled over, mother F this, you be that, any profanity charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get before the judge and they're like, where to get all these charges from? Your mouth.
Yep.
So he was like, I like you. You're intelligent. I know you're not causing problem. Okay. So he said, we're going to leave this alone. But he said, for your knowledge, next time. And it's funny, officers there's a way, they have a way of, communicating where they let you know, I know you didn't do anything wrong.
Mm.
I'm enforcing policy. So that is another thing he maybe should not have done. But see, again, him versus the other guy in the traffic stop, this later guy, the fishing guy, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff, and he knew that was it. And he's like, he knew there's people watching this and you get a phone call. So he had it all wrapped up.
Yeah. He had him 1,000 ways of Sunday. He walked right into that shit too.
Exactly.
Hey, Jared, I see you in the green room, but I can't add you because I think it's because your camera. You gotta have your camera on. So and try to turn your camera on so I can add you. Not let me add you in here. But yeah. My man, he had a trap and they walk right into it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not his fault that they don't study.
No, it's not. But again, if you are a national or more, whatever it is, just step back, let them do what they got to do. You got a fee schedule. If you don't have a fee schedule, it doesn't matter. Take the ticket, sign your name appropriately, contract appropriately, like you said, and let them move on. Because at the end of the day, they can be belligerent, they can be combative, and they will kill you. if you don't, if you don't operate right,
gotta stay in honor.
and you stay in honor. And that way it's like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take this and move on. But some people just don't have people skills. Officers don't have people skills.
That's it. De-escalation training, that shit slept on so heavy. And it goes two ways. You could have not you per se, but the people could have de-escalation training, basic knowledge of how to talk to another grown man when there's a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of that goes a long way on both ends. You got two people that are trying to de-escalate. And it's like, all right, well, look, now the side of the road is probably not the best way to settle this. If we got to go stand in front of a magistrate and I got to challenge jurisdiction, however you get busy. You want to challenge jurisdiction, you want to move through the trust, you want to assign a judge a trustee, however you roll, you know what I mean?
Right.
Being loud and combative on the side of the highway is probably not going to be the move. You know what I mean? Now, stand on your square. Definitely stand on your square, but ain't no need to be profane or nothing like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it absolutely not.
Hey, Jared, let me try to add you again, man. Hold on. Yeah, I can't see you. You turn your camera on, bro. That's why I like adding people when they put their camera on, because we gotta wait for them.
Yeah.
Whenever you get your camera back going, Jared, I'll add you back in.
But
so,
I
was going to ask you. So, with your experiences with being a national and exercising your right to travel, when you're pulled over, what is your way that you move?
Well, I'm not fully a national as far as eliminating all my agreements, but I carry myself that way, and I speak to them that way. I still have my slave card, my driver's license, and but I had sent. I went to pick up the rescinding of the driver's license form. That's a story for another day because they did not want to give it to me.
That's how they roll.
Yeah, but I just talked to them. I'm like, hey, how you doing? How can I help you? And it's like, yeah, you realize how fast you're going? And I'm like, no, sun was in my eyes. Or yeah, I gotta pee. Or yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
It is what it is.
Oh,
or
okay.
no, I wasn't paying attention. I had Metallica on, and I'm drinking a energy drink. And that the last time I got stopped, that happened. He was looking, and he said, well, you're going, I think it was you're on 35 and a 25. And I said, oh, wow, okay. No, I was doing 45 and 25. And I said, I'm usually not out on this path this early. And I hit traffic. The sun was in my eyes. And he's looking in the car, and he's like, I see why you're going so fast. He said, where you headed? And I'm like, I'm going to the gym. He says, all right, you drank your pre-workout. Okay, you're lead foot because you got, hold on. He comes back. He says, look, you ain't been in trouble in years. And he says, I'm gonna let you go. The conversation went on a lot longer because this was during the time when the protests were going on, and there was like defund the police and yada yada yada. And I said, no, I'm not one of those people. I said that's the last thing I want is you guys not being available to be called when stupid stuff is jumping off. And he said, I appreciate that. And he says, and some of the old guys in our precinct, yeah, they're racist. They tell us all kinds of things. Oh, the black guy, do this, do that. And they've done some pretty nasty things, but I don't like that. And I'm not down with that. I said, well, you take care of yourself. Thank you. And I'll see you around. He's like, yeah, get a workout in for me. Go on. And that was it.
Yep. Stay in honor. See that?
Stay in honor.
That what he just told you, he still has a driver's license, and him moving in that way enabled him to navigate properly, and he didn't suffer because of it. So
no. And if I did do something wrong, then I'm walking along with it. The best way to be is truthful and in honor. Don't be belligerent or don't be over honest where you just giving them enough stuff to hang with. You just say, hey, I'm headed here. I'm doing that. Wasn't aware, and just go from there. It won't always be pleasant, but it won't always be bad.
Yeah. 100%. All right, Jared, what's up, man? What's on your mind, Chief? Let's hear what you got to say to us, man. We listening.
Oh, I don't know. One of the problems is most people don't know their rights. and don't know, don't know anything,
Yeah, agreed.
If when a cop pulls you over, he flips on those lights. That's a felony. The cop has just committed a felony. If you have not committed a crime, which means loss, injury, or harm, not speeding, not registration, not anything, he just committed a felony.
That's technically true.
By their own law, by their own codes. Okay? And
man, you cut out on us.
Circumstances where they can actually put their hands on you. It's
You
not,
gotta- you gotta
you're under
rewind that,
arrest.
yo.
Turn around,
You gotta
put your,
rewind that.
they
You
have
gotta
to
back
have
it
a
up.
warrant to arrest you.
Yo, Jared, you got to back that
What's
up.
that?
You went dark for a second.
Okay,
Yeah,
what?
It skipped you out. Go back to the felony part because your signal dropped.
Hold on. I got shitty internet.
Okay. Yeah, you said something about a felony, and then you.
But
was going
anyways,
in,
like I was
you was missing it.
all right, I don't know how much you heard, if it broke up or whatever, but I was saying that there's very limited circumstances where cops can actually put their hands on you. Okay, they can't just say you're under arrest, turn around, put your hands behind your back. They have to have a warrant to arrest you. Okay, it's not just you committed this infraction or this fucking policy or whatever. You're under arrest. Okay, and if they are dumb enough to actually arrest you, if they actually take you and move you 5 feet from where you were, that's kidnapping.
Trafficking.
Okay, they just kidnapped you. All right. And if they are dumb enough to actually arrest you, they're supposed to take you immediately. I mean, immediately to the nearest magistrate and prove their evidence to, that you should be arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not go to jail. Let me get your fingerprints. Let me take your picture. They have to have a warrant to get your fingerprints. They have to have a warrant to take your picture. That is your private property. They have to have a warrant to tow your car. But nobody knows their rights. They don't know none of this. They think the cops can do whatever the hell they want. They can't. Okay, that's one of the big problems. People don't know their rights. Nobody, especially the cops, there ain't a cop out there can even tell you what the First Amendment is, let alone the Second, the Third, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, That's one of the big problems.
And that goes back to what I was saying. Those cops are brought from the herd of ignorant people in the world.
Nonsense.
Okay. And so then they're given this power. So the people out here, our next door neighbors and everybody on top of us and around us don't know the law. And guess what? Little Timmy down the street, he don't know the law, and he's going to grow up, wants to be a cop because he sees the TV shows, and he's not going to know the law. And so we do this dance macabre together of, why'd I get arrested? How come we got to pay taxes? How come this? How come that? And it's just the way things are. There's nothing but truth, but death and taxes. That kind of crap. And then when a mass rises up and says, no, like Planet of the Apes. I don't know if y'all remember Planet of the Apes from the 70s. And they're like, the legendary ape came up, Caesar, and he said the word no. That was very significant as far as jurisdiction, as far as rights, the ability to say no.
Yeah.
If enough of us stand up and say, no, you're not going to do that. We're going to contract. You're going to police this area the way we say police it. Okay. And if I run past this stop sign, I've agreed, I was a danger to the children. Give me the ticket. Okay. But don't pull me over because some stupid stuff or, I didn't get laid tonight. I'm pissed off. I'm going to pull somebody over. Somebody's going to get it because I didn't get it.
There's no victim in running a stop sign. They don't have the authority to fucking stop your right to free travel.
No, they don't.
But there's too many people that are fucking cowards and pussies that will not stand up. They're taught to comply.
Well, it doesn't take
comply.
It won't take every single body, but it'll take a certain critical mass.
The problem is that people, it is your duty. Your duty, if you see a wrong being done, if you see a policy enforcer violating someone's rights, it is your duty to go over there and stop it. No one stops it. They stand around and film it. If you see a cop beating up a woman, you go over there and you kick him in the fucking head. You stop him. You stop him. You be a fucking man.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no men left. There's just a bunch of pussies.
And that's what I was saying about the beach. He had his gun. Other men should have grabbed his sticks and tents and everything and so let him go.
They immediately grabbed his arms. He should have elbowed him in the fucking head. They don't have the right to touch him.
But
that's
they know
the problem. People have rights, but they're too afraid to stand on them.
You know what's interesting about what Jared is saying? The minute they actually did that and they enforced color of law, he had the right to defend himself. Now, the tricky part
absolutely.
is... Yes.
And they kidnapped him. They took him from the beach and put him in the car. He's going to be a multi-millionaire.
Yes, indeed. And there was actually a gentleman who the police came in his house. I can't remember what the circumstance was, but he shot the police officer, and he actually got off of that shit.
You're damn right. You blew them away. They come in illegally, no warrant.
Officers and nothing like that. I'm just telling you, you know what basically happened with the case. So,
how many videos are there online where there's a cop that has his foot in the door, and these fucking cowards are too afraid to slam the door and knock his fuck? You punch him right in the fucking head and you slam the door. That's how you handle policy enforcers. And if they kick the door in, you fucking blow them away. Because it's your right. That is your house. But everyone's just so afraid they got to comply. You're taught to comply or die.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. Grown men are fucking running around wearing dresses and lipstick and all this transsexual nonsense.
And on that note, I might have to shut you down because you're going to get the channel pulled with that. I didn't notice. I didn't even cut him off. The signal stopped him. Like, I didn't do anything. The signal cut him off.
The government doesn't want the truth going out. You know that, A6.
Oh, we already know what time you on, man. And listen. The shit
but I'm on shitty at the church.
Yeah, the shit you're saying is not. I'm not saying it's wrong. Nobody's saying it's wrong in terms of what the law actually states. Because yes, if there is an intruder in your house, if a police officer would have come in your house with no warrant, yes, indeed, you have the right to defend. Because at that point, they're no longer there as a police officer. Then now there is a U.S. citizen that's intruding on your property. So that is facts.
Yep.
Yeah, that is definitely facts. No, if it's the tricky part, you know where it gets tricky. The slippery slope is the wellness check. That's where it gets tricky. Nadine, in the green room, I see you there, but you don't have it's not letting me add you because you don't have your camera on. You gotta turn your camera on. But yeah, the tricky part is the things like the wellness check. You know, we have word that somebody in here is injured or something like that. So you know, we have to
there we go.
We have to come in and check and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They kicked them out. So that's where it starts to get slippery. You know what I mean? But I do digress. My man does have an interesting point.
Yep. That's some interesting stuff, man. Like earlier, I think it was maybe like 3 years ago, I got pulled over by a sheriff, right? When I had my offspring in the car, and they were like, you know, just like he said, license and registration, please. I said, look, you know, have I committed a crime? License and registration. I said, listen, you don't have to yell. My offspring are in the back, sitting in the back. License and registration, please. I said, have I committed a crime? He said, well, you know, back there you were following too closely. I said, oh, I was? I said, I don't think so. He said, well, you know, I was just back there. And I said, let me see. Were you that same sheriff that was talking to another sheriff and you happened to pull out and nobody was ahead of me? He said, well, you know, as of this point, you know, I said, am I being arrested? Am I being detained? Yeah, you're being detained. Well, we're just training everyone, you know, to make sure, because he came by with another, like, you know, three sheriff cars. So I'm like, damn, why all of this for nothing?
Yeah.
So then he was just like, well, you know, the main reason why he pulled you over is because, you know, you were traveling and you was up on somebody too close. I said, okay. Do you have a camera in your car? Well, yeah, I got a camera in my car. I said, okay, good. So I said, okay, that's the first trap. I said, was anybody ahead of me when you pulled me over? He said, well, you know, that's gonna have to be reviewed, you know, once you go to court. I said, let me see this for a second. Under duress, you should see 1-308, no contract, you know, all this other shit, you know, threat, coercion. I put that shit on the ticket. He said, oh, you don't have to sign it like that. I said, I looked at him. I said, you don't have the right to tell me how to sign this.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
How long ago was this?
And then he was just like, I said, well, what's taking so long? Well, we have to see if anything's come up on your record. I said, okay, and you profiled me too. And then I said, how long is it gonna take you? Because my son just pissed in the car. He was like, get back, get back, get back. He did like one of those trying to, like try to show out. So I said, okay, cool. Took the little ticket, fucking made a copy of it, sent the shit back, and then I hadn't made a complaint. So they said, well, you got to get in touch with this platoon commander and everything like that. I said, okay, it's platoon commander. I said, what's your policies on pulling over people just randomly? He said, well, the sheriff has the idea to, pull everybody over. I said, especially if there's no injury, nobody called him, turned on his lights wrongfully, didn't make any traffic infractions, didn't bang into anybody. This guy just pulls me over. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to tell you what. I don't think you guys should be pulling over anybody again. First of all, you don't even know who I am, but I know who all of you are. So he said, well, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't put any threats in there. I said, it's funny. The thing about threats, when you have evidence and certain things can be abided by and follow, and you have an oath, I said, you're a man on the land, right? There's plenty of other thieves and criminals out there doing all kinds of other shit, but you pulled me over. And I said, secondly, I think you guys should go ahead and tune into this link right here. I'm about to email you, and I made a letter, that I'm going to be sending soon to everybody who's in charge over you. That very same week, I got a call, and he said, "Yeah, I'm Lieutenant Mullen. I'm Shannon. I'm Long and Dole supervisor. What happened? It seems to be a problem." I said, "Yeah, you didn't see the video." He said, "What video?" I said, "It's a video on YouTube. You guys pulling me over, being all disgruntled and everything. I want to know what the problem is about." Said I was ahead of everybody, but you could see on the camera at approximately 2 minutes and 47 seconds, there's nobody ahead of me. He said, "Well, what do we have?" I said, "Yeah, it's a dash cam. The same ones that you got in your cars."
Okay. Got him.
Got him.
And I got an apology letter. Yeah, we're very sorry. Mr. Longendorf, Sheriff Longendorf, I understand that his professionalism was a bit discourteous and everything like that. I'm like, yeah. So then I told my homeboy about it. He said, "Yo, Mike, what did you do?" I said, "Well, I just showed him the video." He said, "Yo, there's nobody over here. Usually they're over here. There's nobody over there no more pulling anybody over." So it's what you do, You can have a whole bunch of cameras in your car to protect yourself. That way, when they violate and they're not recording, you can record them and send them a video. Say, this is going to be the same video that I'm going to produce when I file a lien against your bonds. When I file a claim against your bonds, you keep fucking with me. I'm not that person that you want to keep fucking with. Right. When y'all pulling everybody else over, when you see this car, just make a clear path. Make a clear path. Because you don't know who you be pulling over next time, and you don't know who else is watching. So, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
No beeping fire detectors allowed. Who fire detectors beeping, man? Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's crazy. But yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Yes, sir. What's on your mind, Nadine?
Yeah, I wanted to say that video that guy on the beach was fire.
Yeah.
I live in Florida, and these road cops over here, they're ridiculous. They're nasty out the gate. So for him to break it down and bust on them like he did what had to be done. And it is a law. Anywhere you go fishing, hunting, you can carry your firearm. They make up these rules and laws for us, but they break those very same rules and laws. So I'm beginning and becoming free. I've been awake for a very long time, but I didn't know how to, transform to get my status correct. Now I'm working on that for me and my family. And boy, y'all got some fire, A6.
Thank you.
You
that
and
wasn't
James,
my video. I just stumbled upon
that real thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
So,
yes, indeed.
I follow you guys, and I'm gonna follow you to the end of the world.
See, that's another problem. People don't understand that the Constitution was written for the government. It wasn't written for men
It
and
wasn't
women.
written for us. That's right. That's
Okay.
The Constitution,
right.
it doesn't give
Statute-
you any rights.
Statutes, codes, policy, mandates, orders, those are all for the government employees. They're not for free men and women. And people don't understand that. Okay.
Exactly. But you know
Loss,
what another
injury,
problem
harm.
is?
That's it. That's the only laws that you have to abide by. Loss, injury, or harm. If it doesn't cause loss, there has to be a victim.
Exactly.
All the rest of the crap is nonsense, and it only applies to the
It's all
cops,
made up.
the
It's all
FBI,
made
the
up.
Congress, the president, all the rest of the public servants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people need to understand that and start standing on it and demanding it.
But you know what I find a big problem in with our people? You try to tell them something to get them out of this haze, and when you break it down to them, you show it to them in Latin and in English, they don't want to put forth.
Yeah, it's
They just
cognitive
wanna
dissonance.
stay in the same rut. You like being a slave?
It's brainwashing.
Man, that fight ain't for them. That fight ain't for them. If they when they
kills
keep
me.
becoming the
It drives
victim,
me
then they
crazy.
understand it. When they keep
And I'm
becoming
like,
the victim.
yeah, they so used to that. You know, from the beginning of time, you could tell that there was obviously something wrong. All the time, there's something wrong. You can't put your finger on it, but you know it's something definitely wrong.
Yep.
And then
You sound like Morpheus.
when people like A6 and James put it out there, you know, the light bulb comes on. It's not rocket science. The light bulb comes on. Now it's what you do with it now. Is you gonna take what they keep dishing you, or are you gonna take a stand and do something about it? It can't get no more English than that. You know, but they complain all the time. They complain about everything.
But that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's true. Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah. We can't save everybody.
Yeah, this I know.
You know,
Yeah, this I know.
they complain, they do stuff, you know, you're already a criminal. The day you walk, I mean, the moment you walk out the door, you've broken some law,
Absolutely.
some statute, some code.
Yeah, there's over 12 million of them.
Right.
Absolutely.
And my wake-up call, you know, was gradual. But when I heard about a couple that were brought to court for having sex in a closet,
wow,
because the neighbors saw them, that was the key for me. I said, wait a minute, wait.
Because the neighbor saw them.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
You don't have any jurisdiction over what I do with my body or where I do it with whoever.
Exactly.
But somehow, some way they did. So I started digging further, and it reflected back because I started learning with the Moors first.
Okay.
And a lot of things, being of a scientific mind, I was like, this makes sense, but I haven't seen it done. You know, so I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. But then when I started seeing the power that the system had to contrive and make up stuff that doesn't make sense, or at midnight they make a new law, you don't know about it until you land on it like a landmine.
Right.
Yeah, and they don't have to let you know in any conventional sense. I look back at what the Moors were teaching. I said, okay, wait, hold on. And I'm looking at the treaties. Okay. And I'm looking at, you know, the diplomatic immunities. I'm looking at the Constitution. You know, I'm looking at the histories and everything else. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Obviously, I live in a world that's not real. I don't know what's going on. And this is well before the Matrix came out. And yeah, you can't wake up everybody. I tried waking up people. They laughed at me.
Yeah, like you crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. Like you
When
crazy.
That's why I don't
when you
anymore.
do it, they tell me when you do it, then I believe it. I'm like,
Right. And guess
might
what?
be too late. They change amendments and crap all the time. If you
Yep.
don't
Well,
get
I
on
did
board
it.
now, you may miss the boat.
Well, I did it and I showed proof, and they still were like, well, you know what? They just didn't feel like being bothered with you. That's how come they threw you out. They're gonna throw me out of court and miss some money.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. You are just so
Yeah.
You can't process these things. You know what? You know, he's stupid for yada yada. He don't talk against, you know, that community of people. He deserves to be whatever. He deserves to have his money cut. You know, and I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no law against speaking. But if there's corporations own your phone, they own the platform, they own these things, they shut you off, and then you are kind of coerced into saying, I can't say those people that wear those certain garments, I can't say that people that look a certain way, then that's where the tax thing comes in. But I just recently went to the IRS, had a discussion with them, left out of there, made a new friend. Yeah, voluntary. Taxes are voluntary. There's ways around them. Okay. Like Lord
told you this.
Lord Lovett on his website, even, he talks about it, his videos. There's ways, but again, there's a way to get off.
Don't know. People think that you have to pay taxes. It doesn't matter what your job is. You go to your employer and say, hey, I want to be 1099. It's not, there is no law that says they got to steal your money and give it to the government. You don't have to pay those taxes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. 100%.
No.
1099.
And they
always, every dime. You get every dime. It doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's. You go tell them, hey, I want to be 1099. If they tell you no, then you say, you're violating my rights. If you want me to take this to court, then I will. And then you can also send in the W-2 or W-8BN or whatever behind their back, and the taxes will quit coming out. People don't know. One corporation is the same as another corporation. Walmart's no different than Target, right? It's a corporation. Well, the United States is a corporation. Okay. The Congress is a corporation. The cops are a corporation. The courthouse is a corporation. They cannot make laws. They can make policies that don't apply to you, but they just scare you into it. And that's another thing with the cops. They contempt of court. Well, first of all, there's two types of contempt of court: civil and I'm at a loss of words here. Civil and
it's civil and criminal, correct?
Criminal, yeah. Civil and criminal. A judge will fucking try and throw that out. Just like the disorderly conduct. Cops try to throw that. No, there has to be a complainant. Someone that's not you. Someone that's not a government employee. There has to be another man or woman that was offended by your speech and makes a complaint. Then they can come and talk to you about disorderly. It's not, oh, you're swearing, you're whatever. You're being disorderly. Wrong. Okay? Wrong. Just like failure to ID. That's a secondary charge. You have to be under arrest for a crime, not a policy, not an infraction, not a code. You have to be under arrest for an actual crime, murder, robbery, rape, whatever. And then you refuse to give your ID, then it's a crime. But no, people don't understand nothing. They believe all this horse shit, and they don't know the truth, and that's a big problem. But some of these First Amendment auditors are waking some people up. But some of them do it at the same time, First and Second Amendment at the same time. They'll conceal carry or whatever. But they're all still way too compliant. And yes, sir, officer. Oh, they don't get to tell you not to put your hands in your pockets and don't reach behind your back. And here, stand over here, sit down, sit on the curb like a dog. You're a free man or woman. They don't get to tell you shit unless you've committed a crime. Not a code infraction, not anything. A fucking crime. But everyone thinks, it's the cop. If he's got a stupid clown outfit, and whatever he says goes. No. But, you got to stand in it. And you have to be willing to go to jail and stand in the truth.
Can't be afraid.
There is nothing to be afraid of.
Another thing I'm gonna say is
you got their ass, and if they're dumb enough to take you to jail, you don't sign nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. And they will let you out. I guarantee it. Okay, I've done it. You don't sign nothing. You don't even give them a name. You don't acknowledge your name. You tell them I don't have a name. Okay, it's against the law to use a fictitious name, and that's the one that you're trying to get me to say that I am.
Right.
Right?
That's a dishonor. Yep.
And then once you get out, you got them by the balls.
another thing you want to say too is this. One time I was in court, and I had put my documents on the list, and the judge, I said, listen, isn't it your your duty, your obligation to go ahead and discharge this matter? Isn't that what you're not sworn oath to? Yes or no? So then the judge was like, well, I'm not gonna do anything of the sort. I said, oh yeah. I said, okay. Here's how this is gonna plan out. You're gonna fill this out, sheriff. And then next thing I handed him the paper, and the judge said, well, what's this? I said, you know what it is. She looked at it. She said, well, what is this supposed to mean? I said, that means you fill it out and you pay these taxes on it. She said, this meeting has been adjourned. She walked out. Leave the courtroom. I said like this. The sheriff was like, I said, no, come back out here now. I told the judge, I said, come back out here now. Look, if you don't come back out, it's going to be a very serious problem. And the sheriff was like, sir, can you please leave that? I said, you touch me, and that's unwanted assault. You touch me, and I will go after your bond. You understand me?
Okay.
Back up. Give me 6 feet. You know there's so-called that imaginary COVID. I am that COVID. I will make you sick. Don't put your hands on me.
That's right. First
So
of
after
all,
that, he backed up. He said, sir, can you please leave the courtroom? Yeah, we got another one over here. This, that, and the third. So then as I walked out, it was like 6 sheriffs, and they all escorted me outside. And I said like this, I stood there, I said, well, y'all want some too? And then they just cleared the path and said, sir, can you please just leave the courtroom? Can you please just leave the building?
Yeah, but you got to make sure they close that case out, man, because they do some slick shit like that, and the judge will try to leave and come back.
Try to leave and come back. No, but you see, I before I even went out, I said, listen, you're gonna come back out here, or it's gonna be a serious problem. I already went and I already pulled out that 3949A. Another thing I want to know is filling out that 4506A shows that they're not an instrumentality of the government. So when you do that, and they
Say
pull
that again.
4506A. And it's been there right in our faces, and we never filled it out. Like Gerard said, they're just corporations, man. When you go ahead and you start filling that out, you start figuring out the truth. IRS has got 60 days to give you that info.
First of all, you don't go. First of all, you don't go to their fucking fraudulent courts. If you
I
gotta
want to be
go,
in their face when I do the shit, though.
No, I know, but if you're gonna go to court, you make them fucking drag you in there against your will. Right? When people don't understand, they go into court and that you've already waived your rights at the door. You let them search you.
Oh no, I didn't go there by just going in there getting dragged in or whatever. I went in there to show my face to let them know.
No, I know, but you let them search you at the door, didn't you?
Nah, I didn't let them touch me at all. They know who I am when I go in. That's why I told them. I said, you don't put your hands on me.
Because that's how it is in most of the courtrooms and everything, right? You got to go through the metal detector. You got to show me your ID. No. What crime do you suspect me of committing? This is a public building. You don't get my ID for me to come into this public building. See, public buildings are no different than the sidewalk. Okay? The entire building's just like the sidewalk. You don't need to show ID to walk up and down the sidewalk. So where do these fucking public servants get off thinking you got to show ID to come in there? Okay? You've already waived your rights to come into that stupid fraudulent courtroom. That's why you don't go in there unless you're going to come in there with your rights intact. And they're not going to let you in. And then you go tell the judge, well, I couldn't be here for my stupid court date because you want to violate my rights before I even come in here. But you don't even deal with them, because you don't have to. That's what people don't understand.
All the more sweeter.
What's that?
I said getting their oath of office makes it all the more sweeter too.
Oath of office.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice
when they violate,
they're fraudulent. They're all fraudulent.
When you get their oath of office and they violate, and you say, hey, according to this Constitution of the state, you do have you did swear an oath to it, right? And so I don't know what you're talking about. And I'd be like, see that document that's on there? You swore an oath to it, right? Now I got your oath of office, and you have insurance too. I need to figure that out. I want to know where those claims and bonds come from. I asked one guy, I said in there, I said, look, what's your name? I got to add you to the claim too. So then he was just like, he said, well, what do you mean? I said, don't figure. I said, you'll figure it out. Clerk of court, I need that W-9 according to this FOIA request. I want to know exactly who you are. I said, you are instrumentality of the government. So she sent me the W-9 all filled out, and it said government instrumentality, other. She put other court. Instrumentality of the government. Your ass is mine now. I'm going after your bond. So when they gave me the information and the FOIA request to that bond, you see it, CT Travelers, all of that shit.
Somebody's audio is scratching, yo. Whose audio is scratching?
Not mine.
Not mine.
I heard the scratching, but I don't think it was mine.
I think it's because you got that fan on. I don't know.
Everybody else mute out while Mike's talking.
All right. So what I did was I found out their insurance information when you do a FOIA request. Once that FOIA request pops up and you got their information, then you can go ahead and start filing claims at risk management. When risk management doesn't answer, then you have a claim. When they figure, okay, we're just not going to answer, we're just going to say, oh, yeah, it's rejected. You could still file a claim in federal court, because then you don't necessarily have to go after them. You could go after the company that's bonding them when they don't want to put that claim through. And that's for damaged property. You know, if they damaged you in any way, took your property without a claim, they have no claim to your property. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Anytime they steal from you, go ahead, write off bonds, create false accusations, get you locked up, any of that shit. You go after their insurance, and the insurance has to settle that. Because if they damage you, you can't just sue them. The first thing they're gonna do is say, well, we got qualified immunity. That shit don't work when it comes to property, and you got a claim against them. Because then at that point, the insurance covers their private capacity, and never sue them in their own courtroom arena, because they're gonna stick up for one another. That's what they do whenever you try to go after them personally. They say, oh, well, you know, they got a demurrer, their judge, and it's qualified immunity according to their. Nah, that shit don't fly. Go after their insurance and just end it. Just end the shit. Put them in dishonor first. Certified mail with return receipt, and just end it. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yes, indeed, man. Man, that's some good stuff. Mike, I need you to email me, man. I would love to have you in the Telegram group, bro.
I had to back away for a minute because I kept on getting like these weird ass emails. I mean, like these weird ass messages. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, Bitcoin. I click. You know?
Yeah, I hate that shit. Yeah, was that from my group? I didn't think we had any of those.
No, it was from your group and some other group that they was talking about the 1099s, and they're trying to. There's just like a whole bunch of other shit that they keep on trying to purge you to keep coming into their group, and I'm like, I can't do it, so I erased the fucking app.
Respect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, yeah, man. I would definitely love to get some, go in depth about. I think we talked before on Telegram, though, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got definitely
insurance.
Huh?
Another thing I'm gonna say too for everybody in here that's on this panel, if you're going ahead, you're doing a FOIA request, never tell them what you're really going after. Just let them know, hey, you're doing a research project. Because basically, in order to find out, you have to know your enemy. When you start saying, oh, I need a FOIA request, to find out this information, or who's insured if there's damages or anything like that, I'm doing a school project. And they say, yeah, sure, here you go. Here's everything in risk management. Here's all the information that you need to know. And you say, yeah, you could email me that information too, since there's COVID. Yeah, here you go. And then you see the numbers. These motherfuckers got hundreds and thousands and millions of fucking dollars protecting them. Just in case if somebody fucking files a claim against them, that's what the money is there for. And as many times as they keep violating and people just let them get away with it, they get to keep that money and let it stack. But once you hit them, they're like, okay, well, we got to go ahead and put you off the bench because, this one's got a claim against you. And nobody makes a claim. Nobody knows how to make a claim. And just because they tell you no doesn't mean you can't go and backdoor them. That's what you have to do. You have to go in through the front and just say, hey, listen, I'm trying to slip in this claim. Oh, no, we can't do that. Fucking backdoor them. Backdoor them. They say, okay, cool. If I can't sue you and I can't get at them, I'm going to go after your company. And then there's liens. When you start putting liens, you don't necessarily have to put a lien on the judge, put a lien against the bond. That way they know that you're not fucking around. You're going to get somebody eventually. You have to get somebody.
Yep. 100%. Some heat
Wait
right
till I
there.
start passing off your paperwork. When you go ahead and you go on bonds for the win, and you start doing certain things, don't say, yeah, I'm an American national. Don't do that shit. Don't give them any kind of inclination before you go ahead and you escape the fucking plantation. Tell the master that the keys is in the house, and you need to go ahead and finish up that yard. And by the time he goes and gets the key, you already hopped that fence, and you're gone. Just get what you got to get out. That's it.
Right. Yep. 1000%. Yo, that's some gold, Mike. Thank you so much for that, man. Man, this has been a great show, bro. We got a fantastic squad here right now that's on here giving some information. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I'm getting exhausted. We 3 hours in. This is a long show. I need to get to bed. I don't know what coast y'all on, but I'm tired. All right. So listen, thank you so much. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to speak before we log off. I guess we'll start with Jared.
Well, a couple more things. If you do go into a courtroom, like I said, you make them drag you in there, right? You don't just willingly go in there because you're not supposed to be there. They're not for you. But another thing people don't know, they don't understand, is they have to have a third party impartial witness. Okay, you go in there and there's the prosecutor standing. You say, "Who's this? What's your name? Who do you work for? What are you doing here?" Right? Do you have any firsthand knowledge of anything? No, of course they don't. What? Well, you're dismissed. Goodbye. Right? You don't have any firsthand knowledge of anything here. You're dismissed. Right? People just don't understand. Okay? All it takes is a little knowledge. And another thing, and there's no. I got the warrant here. It's on the computer. No, it doesn't work that way. Sorry. You got to hand it to me in paper. And not only does it have to be a warrant, there has to be a signed affidavit with a notarized signature of the supposed crime or whatever they're coming to arrest you for or serve this warrant, right? It has to be signed, wet ink signature by a judge, and there has to be an attached affidavit, right? With someone willing to go to jail for perjury that has the fucking evidence. Right? It's not just, here's a piece of paper that says warrant, blah, blah, blah. No, they try that shit too. You got to know your rights. You got to know the truth. And you got to stand up to this policy enforcing scum. Other than that, aloha from the Big Island. And thanks for all you do, A6, and everybody else. And you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Nadine, you got the floor.
I just want to say thank you, A6 panel. Everybody get free and stay free. Know your rights. Peace.
Yes, indeed. Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
I'm going to email you.
All right, do that. Definitely.
Okay. Y'all have a good night.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. And Mike? You on mute, Mike? You on mute?
I just wanted to show y'all something, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this document right here was according to the state, right?
Okay.
The Commonwealth, right? This is the information from risk management after you do that fucking FOIA request from Bonds for the Win. So the shit does work, right? And here's the bond. This is the information that they got from, I'm not sure if y'all can see it, CT Travelers Assurance Company. That's the bond that you want to hit these guys with when you go ahead and you get the information. This is all truth, so the shit does work. This is the insurance information. When you go ahead and you start doing these fucking FOIAs, when these people start violating you, and look, check this shit out. Look. Hold on. What does that say at the top?
I can't see it. Continuous public official schedule. I can't see the bottom. I can't read the bottom.
Bond for a definite term. That's the bond number, right?
Sheesh.
And look how much it says the shit's for. I'll put this shit up here. I'm not sure if y'all can see it.
Too small.
Hold on.
There we go. $3 million. Get the fuck out of here. Sheesh.
Interesting.
Yo. Hey, I'm surprised they ain't shut this stream off yet. So
Nah, you see that's all truth right there. So you know you guys got to do that Freedom of Information Act, man. The shit does help out. So when you go ahead, you start filing claims, and you're like, man, you know what? I'm tired of y'all niggas fucking with me, man. That's why I don't get fucked with no more.
So you
That's
did a FOIA.
why.
You did a FOIA. You did a FOIA with the Secretary of State.
You could do a FOIA with the Secretary of State, but they're gonna say that they don't have any relevant information pertinent to that. You have to find out who's the head guy who's dealing with risk management. You won't see his name at all. That's one thing. You won't see his name at all in there. You have to find out. Just ask around. He'll have all of that information, but he's the guy playing behind the scenes with the comptroller, and they're all pulling the strings to get the money. So when they get the money and you go ahead and you start filing claims, if you're suing somebody, you don't know who you're really suing. You're just like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sue this nigga, I'm gonna sue this guy, I'm gonna sue this guy. Not really understanding that you have to go after risk management. Risk management, you see, this is proof. This is proof right here. All this whole fucking shit right here. All of this information, CT Travelers Assurance. You saw the money. This is their bond number. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All of that shit right there. That whole claim. They dealing with people in Connecticut. Why is that? It says right here. Look. Matter of fact, for people that want to go ahead and try to doubt and think the shit's a game, look at what it says right here. Wait, right here. What does that say?
I can't read. It's too small.
Yeah.
Public official bond.
Word. My man he got the info. He putting the info out. he putting the info out there, bro.
See what I'm saying? Look.
I might have to delete this live stream after. A lot of shit out in the public right there. Y'all crazy.
I was just like, yo, I need to know what public officials out there that got this kind of, money following behind them. That's their bond.
Some of them, some of them got blanket bonds though.
Blanket bonds. But you see, when it comes down to blanket bonds, with the police, is gonna be up underneath the mayor. I think it's either the mayor or the governor. When I did the shit for the governor quickly sent me to risk management. So once I got his information, I said, damn, what the fuck? Blanket bond. So why is he giving out all of this information? What kind of information also does he have? So this is how it works. They'll have, when it comes down to the police, they'll have the blanket bond and the surety bonds. When it comes down to the judges, they got public official bonds up underneath another company. So they kind of like hide it. So when you go ahead and you do a FOIA request, sometimes they'll get scared and might not give that information to you. So you say, okay, well, I got the information of who the insurance company is. So I'm going to go up under them and ask them, hey, do you by any chance assure, any kind of state? And sometimes it might be under another name because they know people will try to sue them. So they'll go up underneath some other shit and try to, put it up underneath something so that nobody ever finds it. So whenever they get sued, they'll be like, you're suing the wrong person. So we don't know who you're going after, so we're going to dismiss your claim. Sometimes you got to go above and beyond, too. Like, some people will go to federal court, but sometimes the remedy is not a federal court because they cool with them, too. So you got to go higher. And just like that video with that other cat, he was saying you got to check out United States Federal Court of Claims because every other court is not really a court, it's just a bank. Just like Gerard said, like the other time. Yeah. So I want people to keep them open-minded on that shit too.
100%, man. Hey, thank you so much for that, man. Hey, my man just dropped some gold. Absolutely.
When you're traveling, hold on. I'm gonna just say this before I go because I know y'all gotta go. When you're traveling and everything like that, I highly recommend if you really want to put the poker to these motherfuckers. I would say if you're traveling, make sure you put everybody on notice. Make sure you stand on it. They go ahead and they try to fuck with you. Travel with that doc book. Make sure you have it so where they have to sign. If they're trying to make you sign, you say, hey, look, you got to sign too. What I got to sign for? Because I need to know who you are, who you work for, and I also need your supervisor's signature so that way I can let everybody know that you guys violated me. And on top of that, I want you to take a look. Since I put y'all on notice, here's a certified receipt. his certified mail, sent out return receipt of the documents I sent to y'all, putting y'all on notice, so you know I sent it to y'all. So you got an early warning ahead of time. Furthermore, I want you to see the blanket bonds. I want you to take a nice good look at that, so that way when I file claims against y'all, you'll have no choice but to leave the state, because you're gonna have a very big bill up your ass. I'm gonna take your houses. I'm gonna take your cars. I'm gonna strip you clean. Okay, you know.
Okay.
I want to see some birthmarks. They don't have to strip your wallet.
Right.
I want your retirement fund. I want your kids' pension. All that shit. I want everything. They're gonna be cleaning my houses or some Django type shit from now on. Like seriously.
Shit.
Want it all. You're gonna call it Mikey Land instead of Candy Land.
Word. All right. Great shit there, man. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Mike. Greatly appreciate it. We'll have you back on some other time, man.
No
Right
doubt.
on, Mike.
Pastor,
Appreciate
you got the floor, Von Doom.
Yeah. Woo. Man. Okay. Well, I got just a couple things. I don't know if you can see it. Going back to our rather more obscure topics, but let's see. I don't know if this will come in clear. Where's the? Can you see that?
A little bit. Yeah, a bat, a coin.
Yeah. Now, this was given to me by a brother who, he has a couple of coins that have rather significant symbology on it. And we were talking about the lights earlier and the jab. This coin is a quarter, U.S. quarter, and it's for 2020. On it,
Wow.
there's a bat. Okay. There's a bat and she's got a baby. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I was reading some research papers indicating that the bats in a certain place, in a certain lab, carried the nasty bugaboo bug,
Mm-hmm.
and the bats were unaffected. But when the bats were stripped of their melatonin levels, when their melatonin levels were reduced, the virus began to kill them.
Mm.
So what does that say? Well, I don't know. You put a bat on here with a baby. You talk about depopulation. And then you put this bat on here with a baby, 2020. You take melatonin out of her, and that virus starts to kill her and her baby. So this seems like, how they always say they got to let you know that what they're going to do before they do it.
Mm-hmm. Chaos, man.
Or let you know. So this seems like kind of like a spit in the face, like nah, boo boo, we got you.
Oh yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that. Everybody be out on the lookout for a quarter with a bat on it.
2020.
And there's another quarter with more on it. But when I get that, I'll share that with you later.
Cool.
And then the second thing I want to say is, jurisdiction. I think I remember Iron Man 2, and they pulled Tony Stark into court or a hearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm breaking it down from memory. I could be wrong. Please correct me. But they're like, Mr. Stark, the U.S. government wants you to turn over the Iron Man weapon. And he clearly states, it's not a weapon. There's what do you call it? He's like, it's a prosthesis.
It's a high-tech prosthesis.
Yeah. And the whole scene,
they got
everybody's laughing.
Over weapons. They don't have jurisdiction over high-tech.
Right. Exactly. So I'm like, look at this movie. They tell you how to handle certain things, and he signs his company to Pepper.
Yep.
Okay. Did he do that because he was just so tired of it? Or was he like, look, I got to step outside of the jurisdiction so I can do what I got to do?
Own nothing, control everything.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. You can't have it. And then he said something key. He said, you want my tech, you can't have it. But you know what I did? What I've done for you, what you can't have? I've been the first one to privatize world peace or internet world security or something like that.
Yeah.
Privatize.
Yep.
So everybody out there, pay attention to when they throwing stuff at you.
Facts.
Okay. Pay attention. Thanos. That was 2000. That was 2019 on its way.
Mhm.
Get rid of half the population. They tell you what they're trying to do. Okay. And is it a conspiracy theory? Yeah, it's a theory about conspiracies because people partake in conspiracies all the time. If you're a parent, you're a conspirator.
Mhm.
Okay. Because sometimes you don't want them to get that cookie, and you and your woman like, we got to hide the cookie jar. He's like, mommy, where the cookies? And you're like, there's no more cookies. You ate them all. Oh man, you lied. You conspired with the other parent. We got to hide these cookies. That's a conspiracy.
Mhm.
And so, just keep that at the forefront of your mind. Keep reality real. Don't let them change your reality by changing your words or afraid to say, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist.
100%.
So I just wanted to say that. And thank you. I sent you an email.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna check it tomorrow because I'm hitting the sack after. I'm tired, man.
Yeah, I'm tired too. So, I gotta take care of stuff. So everybody, peace to you all. Thank you. A6, get your rest.
Yes,
Thank you for
sir.
having me.
Yep.
And good night, everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Man, so man, that was great. That was great. That was a super stream of info, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight. Everybody that called in, y'all are the GOAT. Y'all did most of the talking. I didn't have to say much. So thank you guys. This has been a great show. And as usual, we'll be back next weekend for the same thing. I'm gonna try to do one Tuesday too. Depending on how my schedule goes, we might rock out Tuesday for a little bit, and we'll see what's up. But thank you for tuning in. It's A6, the Foreign National Born Natural, and that was a great show. Take it easy, take care of yourself, and keep reading and learning. Peace.